Hello.
Right as the baby's bonker head.
Yep. Hi y'all. We're live with some Call of Cthulhu here. It's gonna be a little bit noisy for a bit while my kids get situated.
And Peregrine coming.
Pippin, yeah, I know you're coming. You need to be kind of quiet during the stream. You're allowed to be here, but otherwise you have to go to your room, okay? Anyway.
I want to be a
But yeah, we're joined to Call of Cthulhu. We have my wife, which, as mentioned last stream, we are. I don't know if I can see. Yeah.
We're like sitting next to each other, but we're facing opposite directions.
Sitting next to each other, facing opposite directions, and we are joined by Mr. Gregerson, aka Weefei, aka Ben, aka Best Bro, aka Boyfriend, whatever you want to call Ben. The man of many names.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's a few. Old Man Jenkins in some states.
Yeah. Some of them states.
Some of them states.
in my way.
But yeah, we're going to be joining. A quick little recap for the viewers. Last session, we actually didn't have Ben with us, but we did have Luke, who is not going to be able to make, or Grey Griffin, as he's done, who was not able to make it to this stream. So we're kind of trading him off a little bit. And we will be potentially rescheduling this to a different day this week, but it should still be weekly. Just when weekly will probably change within the next short time while. Outside of that, I need to make a quick little test, make sure my bots are working, because they never like to work.
But how can I see?
Buddy, you don't need to see right now.
Hey.
This doesn't really matter to you. We'll kind of explain. Just kind of talk with their voices. There's not a game that's going to be on screen.
Okay.
My kids are both here with us right now, so I do apologize for that.
Why is there not going to be a
that
game
is
on
what it is.
screen?
I can hear myself through Mr. Gregerson's audio.
Yeah.
I can hear myself through someone's audio.
Yeah, that's probably mine. Sorry.
Hello, can you still hear me, Ben?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay.
I can't hold her and keep my headphones in.
Well, I can hold her then. I'm just trying to get everything set up too. Sorry, the baby's tired. It's her bedtime, but we are streaming, so.
The baby can have a tiny tablet.
There's okay.
I don't want to anymore.
Okay.
It's okay. You can go play with your tiny tablet in your room. I love you, buddy. Okay, and the other kid has just gone to his room for bed. Oh, and I gotta turn that off because Gray's not with us right now. I have a note saying that Gray's streaming with us when he is not. You should go follow him anyway, any of my viewers who aren't. But hello, Moth. How are you doing?
Oh, I guess I should wait.
Oh.
We haven't started yet. We're just getting everything kind of winded up real quick. And Grey Griffin will not be joining us tonight. He said he might be in the chat. He might swing by in the chat, but he won't be able to join us in the stream side.
Oh, Phyllis, stop.
So how are you doing, Moth? While I get things set up?
Very cozy, Mama. Gotcha.
Also, I don't know if you saw my announcement, but with my schedule change, I should be able to stream a lot more regularly going forward.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. Oh, goodness, I hope.
Oh, sorry.
I'm feeling a bit better after taking some painkillers. Good. Ice packs are also phenomenal. I'm a huge, huge fan of sore muscles.
Or hot.
Ice or hot packs are great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of hot water.
And even just like a Ziploc bag full of a little bit of rubbing alcohol, some ice, and some salt.
Oh, yeah.
Really cheap little ice bag. It works great.
I subscribe to the major pain method of just doing a lot of exercise while I'm physically injured, and then, or just like shoot myself in the foot. Stop thinking about whatever else is bothering me.
Yeah.
That's a very valid point, Ben. This is also why Ben is no longer a licensed doctor.
Well, I mean, not licensed, no.
Who needs a license anyway? Ice pack on your arm. Oh yeah, you got your second.
Oh, yeah.
You got your second COVID pokey.
Yeah.
Which I'm not supposed to call them those apparently because it sounds inappropriate or like drugs.
Nah. It sounds like pokey has no alternative meaning other than just like prison, you know.
Yeah, no, I made him get his last week. Like put him out.
You didn't make me. I've been wanting to get it. You did schedule the appointment though. Yeah, he took me out though. I got the J&J one, and it laid me out for a couple days.
Yeah, I hear that's what's been happening.
You're on stream, buddy.
When I got mine, I was taking a huge test the next
Wave
day,
hi.
and I was so
Hi.
Now go watch your tiny tablet in your room.
Can I swing now?
Buddy, I can't have you popping back and forth. Go watch your tiny tablet.
Can I sit?
If I have a roll or something for you to do, I'll come get you, okay? I'll come let you know. But go play your tiny tablet.
But can I?
Buddy.
Dibin, go. Peregrine,
Buddy.
you're
I need
not
you to
using
listen
your
the
first time listening. Go.
Whoa, careful. Don't fall over your chair. Buddy,
Dibin,
I'm sad.
I know you're sad, but
Let me go
we
handle
told you you
this.
couldn't
Dibin,
bounce back and forth.
to your room. Now, you're not listening. Come on.
Sorry. We're trying to teach him about first time listening, but he's very good at just not wanting to listen the first time.
Yes.
He's a kid. They're trying to learn. But yeah. Okay. He's not like stuck in his room in trouble. He's surrounded by toys and got a small phone with videos before anyone's worried. I don't know if this is the best parenting method, but that's what he usually likes to do during these streams. Anyway. Parenting is a fun thing, everyone. I love it dearly in kids, but kids are tricky sometimes.
I'm basically also a parent, you know. I got a dog. I don't know what it's
You got
like.
a dog. It's about the same.
It's about the same.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, jokes aside, I spend so much time with my dog that sometimes when I'm with my niece and nephews, I'll pat them on the head and call them "good girl," "good boy," and forget for a minute.
Those are
Basically, I
humans.
treat my niece and nephew like my dog. I use the same signifiers and pets and whatnot.
Okay. He had it with him when he walked off that way.
Yeah, we can't find him.
Okay.
Let me get him all set up and then I'll be back.
Okay. Well, we're waiting for him to get set up and them to be back. Gonna finish up the recap here. Yeah. There had been, prior to the previous session, there had been a lot of things going on in the town and the various parts of it. The town has been kind of in high alert. It's been very on edge with a couple recent events, and most of those events had been rumors until recently. There were a couple inignorable public events: the disappearance of a boat.
So there's plenty of rumors going on in addition.
Yeah, but the disappearance of a boat, one of the prominent city councilors going insane on the Senate floor, the House of Lords floor, as it were. And like a dark orb's coming out. Like there's much more tangible efforts. All of this is further exacerbated the following morning when word starts to kind of go through. We are jumping into the session, by the way. This is no longer backlog. Word starts to go throughout the town, carried by the couriers on some of the early speakerphones that they have sitting over main areas. Even paper, air, whatever they can. What?
In some areas, maybe a tube system.
Yeah, tube systems, etc. It's fairly, depends on where you live. But the news is spreading through town quickly. The Arch-Chancellor, the highest ranked official of New London, head of the House of Lords, has quite suddenly resigned, and his name's Thatcher Caldwell. Those from the previous session who watch are aware of our group's hand in that, but the general public does not know. It does seem to have kind of come out of the blue, leaving a city that's already nervous, effectively without a public leader. There isn't a single figurehead to take his place. After a little bit of debate back and forth, the second in command, a Barnaby Walters, has taken charge. Barnaby Walters being an actual friend of the group. He's a very odd pick. He's the one who owned the factory and met at the Theo's Manor.
Thought so, but I was
Friend of the group, but unlikely to hold the position for long. He's just kind of stepped in as an intermediary.
Oh, yeah.
Now, everything in the city seems to kind of resume to a fairly nervous but trying to maintain normalcy pace. Things are tense, but you still need to work. You still need a job. You still need to get paid at the end of the day. So you're doing what you can. Now, as far as Estella goes, you have been having a lovely day. You took an early rest that morning and are currently sitting at one of your favorite tea shops, enjoying a nice cup of tea and kind of reminiscing and planning out what you're going to do for the day. As for Bellamy, you are on leave at the moment. Expecting any time to get a call back given the situation, but haven't received anything. Just probably down by the docks, remaining fairly close to where you work.
Mm-hmm.
As all of this kind of continues to go around and sit for a moment. Oh, I just have been notified that Stream Avatars is not up and running. Let me fix that real quick. Anyway, it's as the both of you are kind of going about the middle of your day that probably not like in unison, but a courier does find both of you. The courier hands you a fairly simple letter that when you open it, it's bearing the official seal of the government, of the House of Lords. When you open it, it is from your friend Barnaby Walters. It's a fairly short but cordial summons to the palace. You're not quite sure what it has to do, what it means with anything, but you've worked for him in the past, and your pockets still quite heavy with the gold from the prior payment. It seems like it'd be worth your time to see what he has to say, even if there isn't any immediate promise of wealth associated with this letter.
Yeah, okay.
Arriving... Huh? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead. You're going to say what I was going to say, probably.
Yeah. I was just saying, as you arrive, Bellamy, who is a little bit closer, getting there a few minutes before Estella does. Although Barnaby is not there, you're kind of just waiting outside his office. By the time the time that Estella walks in, probably dressed in a fairly casual about towns, looking quite herself and
well dressed.
Well dressed.
Always well dressed.
Bellamy probably wearing usually wear your navy jacket, don't you?
Yeah. Especially if I'm off but on call.
Yeah. You're dressed enough that you're in uniform to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But both of you are kind of sitting in the lounge area when his secretary walks into the room and with a very polite, Barnaby will see you now. Kind of gesturing to the back room and giving you a light escort.
Yeah, all right.
When you walk into the back room, you see Barnaby sitting there. He looks much more stressed than you've seen him before. Probably given the recent weight of everything that he has to do. He's kind of currently rubbing his temples, and there's a half-empty bottle of whiskey that probably was much fuller early that morning sitting next to him, given that slight little smell in the room. But he kind of looks up at the two of you and gives you a bit of a slight smile. 2 of 3 ain't bad. 2 of 3 ain't bad. Alright, well, I assume you probably don't know why I'm asked you here, but I've asked you here for something.
Yeah, sure, Bonnie. What you got for us?
You know what's been going on around the city. I'm assuming you've heard the rumors.
Oh, yeah, number.
Right. Well, one of the biggest things is that with our Arch-Chancellor's sudden resignation, leaving me in charge with very little notice on what to do. There's one thing that has come to the attention of the city, and it's something that needs to be invested. Do you remember about a week or so ago? It's all blurring together now. But do you remember a certain... What was it called? HMS Ravenspire or something like that?
The boat?
Yeah.
The boat. It went missing from the harbor only to show up in the forest.
Yeah,
Well,
I recall.
Yes. The captain has recently returned from that ship.
From where?
We don't know. We found him... Well, if I'm reading this report correctly, he says, holding up a piece of paper, he was found in the bottom of a well near the Hemmings district. Near the old gardens there. A very odd place to find a sailor.
How elusive is he?
Not entirely. But the problem is... Well, we don't know quite what to do with him. I know you two... I requested Smokestack too, but no one's been able to find him. He's a bit of a man around town. But
Probably down in the pipe somewhere.
yes, and I can't spare any men there. Basically, I'm short-staffed. I don't have anyone to look into this. I know you're freelance, so I know it's not much of a problem for you. I know your rates. But I know you're part of the Navy, but is this something that we could discuss rates and payment on for a job?
Well, clarify exactly what it is you want us to do, mate. We're just questioning, or
So,
are we?
I suppose I should clarify this. That is fair. There's a couple points to this, I know. I really shouldn't have gotten ahead of it and asked you to accept before I gave you details. The captain is not quite all there, but he is lucid enough. The thing about the ship's still in the woods. It's not exactly easy to move a sailing vessel out of the woods
Oh yeah, no.
back to the harbor.
Yes, but I'm sure it's been ransacked by now.
It hasn't. No one who stepped foot on the ship has come back off.
No mischievous teenagers and such.
Not even mischievous teenagers that we know.
Interesting.
The
That sounds
ship,
like something I don't really want to mess with.
between the ship and the captain, we need answers, and no one can get the captain to quite talk, or at least in a way that we can comprehend what he's trying to tell us. And the boat itself has now become, let's call it a hazard. Things going on, people get ideas. I don't have the men to watch the boat. If you can find out what's going on there, and potentially stop whatever's causing people to disappear when they go into it.
Or you could use it to your advantage.
How so?
Well, I'm sure, even politically, you must not get along with everyone.
If you're highly suggesting me sending people off to a
I
boat
would-
on the chance that they disappear,
I would never.
I appreciate the sentiment, but there's other people that are slightly more efficient. Anyway, and you know I don't
Never.
quite play that way. That aside, this would be... Oh, we lost Mr. Gregerson. Are you there, Bellamy?
Yep, sorry.
Oh, I accidentally muted him. You there?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, just real quick, out of character. In what sector about did the ship appear
Oh, if we're
on
looking at
this
this map?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick it on, so show me where it's at.
And it wouldn't necessarily be on this map. But if you take this north road out the city, the one straight up north to the left of the river, that road leads through the woods, and about 2-3 miles into that woods from the edge of the city there is where the boat appeared. It's 2-3 miles is not that far from town, mind you.
I'm just put a marker and just say 2 miles north.
Yeah. That's something that works. But, yeah, so that's kind of part of his worry, is it is very close to town. It's very much within the range. Someone gets curious, they might wander
What's
into
the
it.
name of it?
He called it, and you're not sure if he was correct, the HMS Ravenspire.
Would I have a way of corroborating that name from being in the docks? So like a memory check.
Ooh,
putting
it's
it
like a
as a
memory
tag.
check. Roll an intelligence check.
All right. That's a 57. My intelligence is,
85, I believe.
I believe, is 85. Yes, so that's a
So,
it's a normal success.
Ravenspire is the correct name of the ship. HMS stands for Her Majesty's ship and is reserved only for Navy vessels. This was not a sanctioned Navy vessel. It is just the Ravenspire.
Okay, just the Ravenspire.
It's a very minor thing, but yeah, he's assuming he doesn't know a lot about the Navy.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
for him, HMS is just a ship thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
In this situation, it's just called the Ravenspire. It was a private vessel.
There's a marker on the top of the map.
Okay. Now, as he kind of continues from there, now this is you would be working directly for the House of Lords, which means I'm a little bit more restricted on compensation, but we are still more than willing to see you compensated fairly. I can try to get your standard rates approved, but they are a bit on the higher end for what the council's normally willing to pay.
You know my rates.
Would you be willing, because of frequent business, to give us a discount of sorts?
I will discuss my other usual rates with you later.
All right. Sounds good. And as for you, Bellamy, I'm sure we can. I'll make sure you're equally compensated for your time. I don't
Appreciate
have
it, mate.
much, but basically, for the completion of the job, I can probably get you about $200 each, which is actually more than you were expecting. In the 1920s, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Not bad for a day off.
To intimidate him with a board book.
Mm-hmm. That's what I can guarantee with the House of Lords. I can try for more, given your standard rates. Are you willing to look into this for the time being, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll discuss my other rates with you later.
We can discuss privately if further compensation is needed. Anyway,
Okay, it's loading. Just wait for it to
he kind of nods.
Use it.
Buddy,
It's
Um,
loading, honey.
as many of you are
Can I do
probably
something else?
aware, I really don't know the best way to do this. But I do know that the captain is currently situated at the Seaside Hospital in Threnborough, the Navy District, shortly outside of the Admiralty's office.
All right.
I'd recommend starting there, but just report back to me with what you can, and I'll send payment your way.
You got this captain's name?
I do. It was... He kind of starts to dig through those paperwork again. Captain Barossa.
All right. Suppo. All right.
The two of you, and we kind of gave him this information. Do you have any questions for him? He kind of sits there. Is there anything else I can do to help you?
No, I don't think so. I think that's I think you're giving us all you can. We'll go and see if we can get any information out of him. See if we can get him to spill the beans in a cognitive manner.
All right. I appreciate it. If you need any help, let me know. Oh, one moment. He kind of starts to rummage around his desk, and after a second or two, he pulls out a small, little folded envelope with the House of Lords seal on it. It's a writ of passage. It should get you anywhere in the city that you need to go.
Oh, that'll be real handy.
You've seen these before, by the way. Getting something like that almost makes the less pay worth it, because these are very rare documents.
Treasured
If
possession?
you can give me a unexpirable one, I will waive payment.
He considers it for a moment. Hand me that one back. He writes out a second one a moment or two later and hands it back to the two of you. It is and you can write this down on your inventory if you want.
Yeah.
It is a permanent, basically, it calls you an agent of the House of Lords. It's basically a flat out, you need to get to the military buildings, etc. This acts as reasonable clearance. There might be times where it's still not quite enough if there's like extra guards or like a guard himself can maybe make the call, but this is official paperwork to get into wherever you need to go. As far as government buildings go. Alright. He kind of nods to the two of you. If you need anything else, though, just send word. I'm very, very busy, but for this I can make time. You two have been very good to me in the past.
Oh, no need to get sentimental, mate.
Well, it's hard
Bellamy's
to find
gonna-
good work.
Bellamy will smile and wink and stand up to leave.
Okay. As the two of you head out of the office, you kind of step outside and kind of catching just the tail end of a cold little breeze blowing up for the harbor. You aren't actually too far away from the Admiralty's hospital. If you can look at the map, let's see if my mouse is going to work for me. Is my little pointer going to work? Yeah. This is where the kind of House of Lords is.
Yeah, that's where we were.
His office is like here, so you're just a short while up. As the kind of cold wind kind of just blows in ever so slightly, salt on the breeze. It's a very beautiful day out, which seems to be helping lessen the tensions that everyone else in the city is feeling. As you go from there, is there anywhere that you want to go before heading there, or what's kind of the plan? Where are you going?
I think Bellamy's good to head on over.
Okay. Making your way, and kind of probably Bellamy leading the way as you are more familiar with the route there. You're going to start to head on your way down to the harbor and a little bit further until you reach this little hospital. It's often referred to as, they usually refer to it as, it's like to be called amongst the sailors as the Death's Door, because most people who make it into the hospital don't make it out. It doesn't have necessarily a reputation for being a efficient hospital, but it is, however, the one the Admiralty covers and owns at no cost and no questions asked for the sailors. So it's less that people come here for quality care and more because they come here because it's free for the sailors, as long as they're working with the Navy.
Gotcha.
And as you walk up, it's a decent looking building. It is somewhat kind of dwarfed, and the age shows through compared to the Admiralty offices, which are pristine, fortified. It's a fortified little fortress. It probably was an old little fortress or a watchtower back in the day, but since kind of been fleshed out and expanded. You can kind of see some of the pneumatic tubes leading from it, the colors of the city. It's very well maintained. Kind of dwarfs and dims down the much smaller little hospital kind of off to the side of it that kind of extends back into an alley and maintains a relatively small height. Walking into the front door of it, you currently see the secretary at the front desk busy quite frantically sorting through just piles of chaotically stacked paperwork. There's a couple of orderlies and doctors kind of scram from room to room, but you don't see any patients. There's no one waiting in the waiting area right now, but it's doctors going from between which rooms, whatever patients they need to. It's a fairly busy place. Watching you walk in, you can kind of see a slight little sigh from the secretary as she notices the two of you having just far too much on your plate to handle. Oh, hi. How can I help you two?
Well, I'd like to get in to see Captain Barossa.
Captain Barossa kind of like fuddles through and pulls out probably his admittance papers. Why are you out to see Captain Barossa?
Official business. And he's gonna...
You flash it. The official business plus seeing those pictures, kind of your uniform and everything. She doesn't ask questions. Oh, yes. He's in room 103, just down that hall.
Thank you, miss. Have a lovely day. I'm gonna make my way down.
The two of you kind of sort of take down that hall. You're kind of walking past doctors running, orderlies pushing, kind of like those newfangled machines that they're trying out medically. This is very much a place where we have this machine. It might work. Hey, I have people we can try it on kind of place.
Yeah.
Part of the being free.
Yeah.
You see a couple unique looking tubes and machines kind of get wheeled up and down the hall. But eventually you find room 103. And as you approach, ever so carefully, kind of walking in through the front door, you see the captain sitting there. He's currently got his chair firmly on the floor, facing a crudely drawn and almost carved into the wall portrait of a ship on the ocean. He's clearly put it there, and you can probably see, much to the frustration of the orderlies, there's no one else in the room right now, but he's finished his work on the wall, and he's just sitting it there, just lock-eyed staring at it, unmoving.
Alright. Hello there, Captain Barossa. Any reaction?
Psychology.
You can roll psychology, but as you kind of say that, he slowly turns and looks you up and down. There seems to be a slight recognition in his eyes of your uniform. And then he says, kind of an indiscernible, "Aitefrundan kabatuak."
Hard success.
I'm very sorry. I need to take a moment. My dog is going insane. I need to go
Okay.
help him out real quick. Very sorry.
As Bellamy runs to check his dog barking in the back. Anyway, he kind of looks at it up and down. And what did you roll?
I rolled a hard success.
Hard success in psychology. He is not panicked. He's calm. He's a little too calm.
Lucid.
He's very sedated, but he's completely aware of his surroundings. However, you
can't-
almost get the sense he's like
Can't communicate.
half awake.
Yeah.
There's some kind of like he's seeing things slightly different than you are.
Ooh, can I toy with that?
I will let you roll a willpower check.
Can I toy with that? That's
Well, hi, Phyllis.
45.
45?
Yeah, what am I rolling again?
It's just a willpower check.
Oh.
A pass, just normal pass?
Yeah, almost, but.
Okay. Okay. You kind of start to try to pull on those strings of lucidity, and it clicks in a moment, and you know how to unravel this. This was something done to him.
Sure, can I spend some magic points?
You can. Taking a little bit of time and focusing on these narrow interwoven web pieces that are kind of keeping his psychology twisted around. You are very well aware that this is going to be visible if you are tampering with this.
Not being too visible, but
It's Bellamy is the only one who would notice. You're in the room with just Bellamy.
I want to be a little sneaky.
You can roll stealth.
Pass.
What'd you roll?
79.
Okay, 79. What's your stealth?
90.
90. Min-maxing.
Yeah, this character
Right
is
here.
min-max to the roof. Sorry, that's how I play.
Min-maxers unite. Okay. As you... I'm gonna say this costs 3.
Okay.
It's mostly just draining rather than it is hard. As you kind of start to pick and unwind those threads, it's like a little bit like a rope with tension. And once you've gotten through enough of it, that last bit just kind of snaps, He goes limp for a second, almost like kind of hitting the ground. Before he kind of comes back up, his eyes are clear, and for the first time, they don't look through you as much as they actually focus on the two of you. As he kind of starts to acknowledge the room. Huh?
Like exhausting.
It's exhausting, yeah. It was... You were untampering with someone who had tampered there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, as well, because we're going to get back to this next part, I'm also going to have you roll a general spot hidden for the room.
Why?
Because it's stuff you can notice.
No, there's not anything I could notice. You know that.
Are you going to object to a chance?
I rolled and failed. Are you surprised?
No, but if you succeeded, that's a chance to improve your stats.
Yeah, I haven't rolled a successful spot in the entire campaign.
What is your spot hidden?
Base.
Which is...
25.
That's like a... You should have a, 1 in 4.
Yeah, but I
statistically.
My dice don't like me, you know that.
That's true.
But...
We need to get you a dice prison.
Well, I actually saw, you know those boots like your sister had at her wedding?
Yeah.
Platform? I saw somebody and they filled them with dice.
Baby. She's like, what she wants? I want my mumsy. Watch this. We can pass a baby. Teleportation.
Yeah, let's not start the baby passing game.
No. We're not gonna... Don't look at me. I know what you're looking at me for. We're not going to play the baby passing game. For the proof that they are here. Boop. I mean, not that you needed to see that because we just literally passed the baby from one to the other. What is that? Oh, it's the light from the lamp. It's like a golden circle, like I have a halo. D20, because this is the one that everyone knows. Oh, I wonder if I can actually show my dice off. This is how a DM stalls for time when a player has to go take care of their dog. You're never gonna forgive him for this. Anyway, these are my D100s. Yes, there's two of them. So if any of you are familiar with D100s.
These are like a specialty shaped dice.
Yeah, it's a 10s and a 10. So this is 1 through 9, and this is 10 through 90. So, you roll a 1 and a 20, it's 21. And it goes up to 99 if you roll all... Oh, there's also zeros. If you roll zeros, all zeros, that is 100. Which is the highest you can roll, which in Call of Cthulhu is a failure. You want to roll low. It's the equivalent of a natural 1 in D&D. And when it's by D&D, this is my D20. It looks normal. My D8, it looks normal. My D12 looks normal. And then we get into some of my fun ones. I have my D6s, which are also crystalline.
Yeah, that's the name that they're called.
Yeah, they call them Crystal Case. They're an amazing shop, not a sponsor of mine. And no, I never have sponsors. I'm not that big. But
my dice are actually from Crystal Case as well.
Crystal
and
Case.
Mine are
I'm a huge fan of Crystal Case.
Stone dice.
Hmm?
So.
Here's my D4. I have 4 D6, kind of like basically for stat rolling purposes.
Mine are a dark green type stone, and they are the miniature size. I like small things, so I really like the small dice.
This is my D3, which not everyone has.
That's actually a rare dice.
It's actually a rare dice.
So.
And then you often hear D2s, it's just a coin. So I use
Pippin.
this one,
Pippin. Nope, I cannot have that music in here. Out.
which is a 50, I'm going to mispronounce this, a Pfennig. But it is basically a Deutsch from Germany. Bundesrepublik of Deutschland. It's a...
Mine is a small
50 cent.
from the Netherlands.
I think it's called a Pfennig. And they might call it francs. They don't use these anymore. They switched to the euro, I believe. I could be entirely wrong. I'm not from Germany, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, it's my shiny. I speak just enough German to pretend I speak German. Or in other words, just enough German to know that they call it Deutschland. Oh, really? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's not start another game of basketball because that will never end. But let's make a party.
Yeah, can you grab the baby too? Hey, what does mass bomb do?
Just drops a bunch of them.
Can I do that command, or is that just?
That is an admin command.
I want. Dang.
Can I make you admin? Alright, let me do that real quick if I can.
Hey, we got Great Griffin watching us.
Yeah, he said he might. He's
Yay.
just, yeah.
No, it wasn't feeling good.
Nightbot. That's my Nightbot command list. I forgot that I had that.
Oh. Wait, how did you get the purple dragon? Did you just get to choose one?
Huh?
Your little icon.
So I am.
You just get.
I am just subscribed to my own channel the whole time. So the longer I'm subscribed, I'll just go through the year subscribed badges.
That's funny, actually. You should put your favorite one at the very top. Or whatever level you're at.
It's not entirely a bad one. Bum ba-dum. Ba-ba-dum bum.
I feel like I'm crashing hard. Whew.
Okay. I know how to add you as a mod in Stream Avatars. Okay. That way you can use all the special commands like the boss fight and whatnot.
Don't give me that, so use it.
I know you'll abuse it. That's why I'm giving it to you.
Do you want your headband back on?
The ORIO and now you have access to like the mass bomb and stuff.
Oh, you can't have that. Hey, I'm hitting a wall. I took the caffeine, but I'm still just
Oh.
dying.
Stop trying to steal your mom's headphones.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm actually gonna do that to.
Falling out, and she's falling in.
I'm also going. What?
I'm falling asleep.
I know you're falling asleep. Do I need to get you like a second one? It's like a cup of coffee worth
I don't think there's any
caffeine. Coffee, because I'm in Boston. I work down at the harbor. I'm really good at getting my wife to do eye rolls.
That's just a trait of most husbands.
It's a trait of most husbands. Yeah. Hi, Phyllis. You're just happy as can be. We lost Mr. Crackerson, but he'll return. Okay. Anyway. Oh, let's do a little battle royale. That's pretty easy. They do it one word? Is it one word? There we go. Who do you think's gonna win?
Well,
Probably Streamlabs.
probably. Streamlabs is like all the invincible.
Yeah. We also got Nightbot. It is 11. You basically got us right on time for a normal break.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I know you're so tired, baby. You should just fall asleep.
Oh, I'm still a Pikachu. Oh yeah, Streamlabs isn't even scratched. They did it with like full health.
No, leave it alone.
I need to like nerf my bots.
Yeah,
No, I'm hitting a wall too. That's okay. Hopefully, we should have, we should be getting a lot more consistent with streams in the future. I do think with the new work schedule, that's going to help a ton. Just on Mondays and Tuesdays.
I'll be throwing my whole schedule.
Your schedule will be all crazy. We are going to have, can I tell them about I want to do a stream with you? Yeah. Do you want to, or I can say it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get him to stream Discworld Mud with me this week.
Mm-hmm.
I will
It
probably
is-
be starting at noob level again. I haven't
Yeah.
played long enough. My character's been deleted.
Discworld Mud is a text-based multi-user dungeon. It's like a text-based game, guys.
There's no
But-
pictures and graphics. It is the best.
I love it. I haven't played a lot of it, but you have.
It's amazing. It has
Oh.
such an
And it's based off
in-depth
Discworld.
map that is just amazing. I have never seen a video game that has such a large map of Ankh-Morpork, which is the capital city. It's just huge, and you can go all over the continent for this. It's been going for a while.
And also, you had we might do I might want to try to do an Oblivion stream with you. You started playing Oblivion for
Oh
the
my
first
gosh,
time.
Oblivion is 10 times better than Skyrim ever was. I can't believe how amazing Oblivion is, except everybody looks like derps.
The graphics aren't the strong suit of Oblivion, but
No, but I can't believe how much better it is than Skyrim. Like, Skyrim is so gritty compared to Oblivion, which just feels like a fantasy, and I'm just like, kind of blew my mind.
Ba-doo, ba-doo, bop, bop. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should count this as your break.
Yeah, I'm counting this as the break. This is officially the break.
But on a battle, I'm gonna go get some
boss
candy
battle?
or something, 'cause I am just hungry.
I'm hungry. Is there anything that we got munchy wise?
I got Cole Cannon.
I don't want Coke Cannon. Can I steal some of the other?
Hey, you can have breakfast burrito filling.
Breakfast burrito ain't half bad. This is probably just gonna be me versus the boss, isn't it? Because I think everyone else is lurking. Oh, Moth appeared! Hello, Moth. It looks like it's me and you versus the boss. You think we got it? Well, all the bots. We'll see if the bots are strong today. Is she... This is our newest D&D player. Let's see. Let's have you roll. Let's see what you roll. Let's see how lucky the baby is. You're gonna take this and you're gonna roll it here. You're gonna drop it on here, okay? Drop it here. No, you gotta toss it. I think that was cheating because that was an 18, but you just toss it on here. Let's go. Bloop. See, watch. You take it and you go like that. Do that with yours. No, I'm not giving you more dice to play with. I'm trying to show you how to roll. So you take them and you do that. Do it with yours. Do it with yours. Okay. No. Okay, so take that, and you're gonna go. Oh, yeah, take it. You're gonna drop it on here. There we go. 13. That's a pretty good roll. Yeah. No, you only need to do the one roll. Oh, we gotta jump over here. We're hiding behind the Pumpkin King right now, so no one can see what you're doing. Yeah, okay, I'll let you roll again. You're not supposed to just set it down on the number you want.
Yeah.
You gotta actually roll.
Yeah.
Oh, take it and go. Boop. Okay, that's enough rolls for now. Yeah, I know, the clicky clacks, they're your favorite thing. That's the lid to my dice, so you don't need that either. Oh, I know, you want it. Oh, it's my turn. I didn't do anything. So it looks like I just attacked. Oh, that's my bad. Anyway, how are you doing, Moth? I saw you join. I don't know if you're still lurking around or what you're up to. I don't know if you can hear me. Max, hello, Max. Person would disagree. Baby cheesesteak always nat 20s. She tries to at least. Okay. Oh no, I don't know what you just did there, but that could have gone real bad. Okay, I think crisis averted. Baby was just trying to close everything all at once, and now she's escaped. Where are you going? How are you doing, Max? Max is mein Schwester, for those of you who don't know. This is going to be a very short fight. It's Baby Cheesesteak. Is Baby Cheesesteak her new nickname? Because it's a pretty good nickname if that's the case. Do, 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 do. Boop. I'm behind the Pumpkin King. Finley. Come here. Oh, I forgot. I missed my turn again. Could never get the chance to stop in and say hi. I've been calling her Baby Cheesecake all day since day one. Can y'all see what I got? I'm trying to sneak it behind the Pumpkin King. I don't know if you can see it. I think we've lost this fight, Moth. I've never heard you call her Baby Cheesecake before that I'm aware of. We all know how my memory is. Because, oh, that makes sense. And for anyone in the chat that's confused, her name is Philo or Phyllis. No, that is to be fair. Which sucks, but it is what it is. So when you move into the East Coast with me? That's the real question. Maybe to Maine. Yeah, it's New England. It's like just a day drive. Just a couple hours. I can drive up to Maine and bother my sister. I wonder... Does that help cut down on mic background noise at all? You planning to go on going to West Coast? Rude to move to the other side of the continent. It's not my fault. It's kind of my fault. It's mostly my fault. But if you move to the West Coast, you can live by Moth. Oh, it sounds like the baby's mad.
Ben back?
No.
Still?
Yeah.
Dang.
I texted him, did it eat ya?
Oh, I forgot to get myself a candy.
You get yourself a candy. That's the whole reason you got up, I thought.
Oh no, then I sent some her tip.
Hi. Oh, your mom's still be back. We're just getting trashed by a boss mob, but the boss in the avatars is kicking our butt. Kicking our butt real good. Real good butt kicking. How am I still alive? Hello, Raiders! Hello, Raiders! Rambranic is raiding with a party of 3. Hello, Ram! How are you doing? You catch us at a little bit of a break. We're trying to track down Mr. Gregerson. He may or may not have been eaten alive by his dog. It's a joke. But hello, my name is Tadafid. You can't see me right now because I am over here. I'm stuck behind a pumpkin. But hello! My name is Tadafid. I am a variety streamer. I try to stream... but I try to stream every day. My schedule's been a bit up in the air because of a move and everything. But oh, hey, you can see me now. Hello! But yeah, I'm trying to get back to streaming daily. Once a week I do a Call of Cthulhu tabletop stream with a couple friends, of which tonight we only have Mr. Gregerson here, but we're looking at rescheduling it and kind of addressing a couple things, so that might change shortly. But yeah. Hello! How are you doing? What were you playing, Ram? Let's give you a shout out while I'm thinking about it. Rammer. And they were just playing Star. Oh, that's a classic game. Why do I have this open? I have 2 chats open.
Oh, I'm supposed to be monitoring chat.
Oh, how dare you not monitor chat?
I'm terrible at it. I'm supposed to monitor.
I'm just talking about how my sister's moving to the West Coast for school, or she wants to.
Wait, your sister?
She wants to move to the West Coast for school.
Oh, did she get accepted?
I don't know. I don't know where she's applied. But if she moves to the West Coast, and there's a whole continent between us.
There's already a continent between us?
There's 3/4 of a continent now, but then it'd be a whole continent.
Well,
But then she'd be next to Moth, so we're talking about how that's fine.
well, she should, because she's always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So you should encourage her.
To be honest, like if I couldn't live in Massachusetts, like Washington, Oregon would probably be my
Yeah, same. Totally.
second bet.
But I really, really love it out here.
Like no place is perfect, but
You're trading problems. Wherever
You're
you
trading
move,
problems
You're
wherever you
trading
go.
problems.
But yeah. The question is, what problems do you want to deal with? And how do you think you can fix them? That's what really determines it.
Very true.
Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. You're in charge of watching my chat. I'm going to go grab me something I can munch on. Probably just something from the table.
Oh, yeah, there's chips. And
Yeah, and I'm going to try to get back a hold of Zaban.
Yeah, call him.
Make sure he didn't die.
He's been gone a while.
Fix all of the problems. Hello, Gray. Hello.
We miss you.
We miss you.
Aw. Yeah, we miss you too, Max.
I miss you too, Max. Yeah, that's my sister in the chat. All of the people.
Yeah.
And there's a ram. They're all so good people. There's a baby. Can they see the baby?
Yeah. This is our chaos.
That's our chaos number 1. That's the better chaos model, like the new and improved one.
What do you need, bud?
I want to
vinegar and chip.
I want to play the games app.
So you can have Daddy help you. And help him get a bowl for his chips. You can help him get already. You might have to get Pip a bowl.
Permission to put malt vinegar on my chips?
That's fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything in the chat. Sorry, guys. Oh, I missed the Pumpkin King battle. Yeah. Oh, I guess the mic's behind me.
Loading. We're going to give it a moment to load. The app might be broken at the moment. It is, it's not much I can do. It's kind of outside of what I can control. Would you like some chips, buddy? Need a little more.
There you go. If you're in the chat and you're bored, just challenge each other to duels. See how many you can get going.
Salty chips?
Yeah.
Okay, what I got?
I really want to make this
I believe so. Let me pull up. I can pull up the link and then tell you for sure where our city map came from. Yeah, it is from Watabo. It is a really fun city generator. Our map of New London is from there. It's really fun to hop in there and just play around. And then the rest of the other maps are from the Dyson logos.
Who? I don't personally know the guy, but he's got a Patreon somewhere.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you can hear Tay in the background, but somewhere there is a Patreon for, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Wabataus. So, yeah, if you like that, go support that. We found it several years ago and didn't have a lot of use for it.
His map
But
collection
we've always
is
had it bookmarked.
The Dyson.
Oh, yeah. And actually, when you're playing with it, you can actually take them, and then they have a 3D generator. You can load them back in. That's really cool, too.
Hey, I'm back, by the way.
Okay, I'm hearing Ben sort of through your headphones.
Hearing Ben.
Yeah.
Through my deaf sound-making headphones. I'm getting chips, Ben. I'll be back soon.
Yeah, Tay's on his way. You took
I
long
love
enough.
you.
We all took our break.
Better hurry or
Ben.
something else will make me have to leave again. Oh no.
Yeah, Tay, clock's ticking.
I'm hurrying. I just gotta put vinegar on my chips.
Yeah, I bought Tay malt vinegar. So.
Where's the malt vinegar?
White cupboard.
This is me we're talking about. Speak to me like I'm 3.
The only cupboard in the kitchen that's white.
Found it. There's 2 white cupboards, thank you.
Hey Pip, can you get Phyllis a big chip? chip bag. Thanks, Pip. Here's all Peter's. Sure, it's so low.
What did I miss?
I came back and left again.
Okay, now that I can hear you, what did I miss?
That was the last time I'm explaining myself, Taylor. You have to live with the consequences now.
Forever.
Ah, dang it.
Oh, I should have looked for a better.
Consequences being that I just sit here and tell you that I got back.
Yay!
My dog, I got him, sorry, excuse me, neutered a couple days ago, so he's recovering from surgery, and that has disrupted a number of his schedules, and he is not happy about that. And on top of that, people are doing yard work in the backyard, and we didn't want him to play with them right now because he's got a cone that he likes ramming into people's legs. He's managed to crack part of it open, so it's especially sharp and pointy on one part. So I had him tied up, and he could see and hear people, but not touch them, so he was very upset.
He
So I had to...
You couldn't burn the world down?
Yeah, so I just had to help get some of the yard work done real quick, and let him loose, give him some neck scratches and all that. Give him his pain med, see if that helps.
When we got the cat fixed, she had to have a cone, and I think cats and cones are way more entertaining.
You
Yeah,
just
probably.
fell over everywhere.
What did you put her on the phone?
I didn't think my trip planned through, I've just realized in hindsight. Suddenly all NPCs are going to have a mouthful of potato chips.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes. Bag is really good. Oh, do you need another one, Phil?
Anyway. For those of you who don't know, by the way, wavy potato chips, top them with some malt vinegar. Snack of champions. We got some white cheddar cheese on them. It's really good too.
I can see that going good or bad depending on what quality of cheddar cheese you have, though.
Yeah, the more I drink this Pepsi, the more all I can taste is old orange peels.
You still have the messed up taste buds from the COVIDs, right?
Not that I noticed until just now. Like, this might be from the COVID.
How long did that take to recover?
They've had some people who've had it for like 6 months plus. Like going.
What's weird for me is that I had the COVID and didn't experience any messed up loss of smell or taste or anything until a month after I'd fully recovered from it, and then my smell just disappeared like a month later, and stayed gone for a good 2.5 months, and has slowly faded back into reality. I'm still not sure if it's back to 100% or not, but
Probably a lot better than it was, though.
a lot better than it was. I'll tell you this much. I didn't mind not having a sense of smell. It's perfectly fine if I never have it again, because I mean, for many reasons, but one of the big ones is I'm a janitor, and kids, I guess, just don't like flushing toilets.
I think that's all kids, I'll be honest.
As a parent, yes, that's true.
Maybe that's an adult skill.
Yeah, the adults sometimes don't flush, but, you know, when you're at a junior high, by and large, it's mostly kids that don't flush, and obviously don't flush from the person before them either.
At junior highs, don't they have, like, I don't know if all schools do, but some of them have, like, teacher bathrooms?
Yeah, there are teacher bathrooms, but, you know, those are typically much cleaner.
Exactly.
Much less traffic, you know.
That's because we all know teachers don't really exist.
Oh, I think that's probably because teachers aren't allowed to use the bathroom during the day.
Yeah, there's probably that too.
Okay, I've just downed a bowl of potato chips, so. Because I'm a responsible adult, I can do that with my junk food.
I must be getting old, because I can only eat a couple, and then I'm salted out. It's so lame.
So you douse them in vinegar, and you don't taste the salt, you just taste the vinegar.
I know, but I do the same with vinegar chips. I can only have a few, and then I'm salted out.
Those are salt and vinegar chips, not just chips doused in vinegar.
I don't know. Maybe I should try the light sensor.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well,
Before.
oh yeah, let me check it out.
I'll go help him with that. You fill Ben in.
Okay, yep. The app mic does not be working right now, buddy.
Yeah. Let's go see it. But again, it might be broken. Phyllis, you stay. Be nice for Daddy.
I'm watching you. High five. High five. High five. Yeah. Knuckles. Okay. Boop. Okay. Well, what you had missed. So, he had just turned to you and spoken something in kind of an archaic language where you didn't quite understand what he had said. I'm gonna have you roll a spot hidden check for a quick moment here.
Yeah, okay. That's a 25. That's pretty good. What's the right spot hidden? 76. That's a hard success.
Hard success. Okay.
Remind me, when we succeed on something, we check the box for it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can roll to improve it at the end of the session.
Gotcha.
Which we usually do off screen, but well, as he turns to you and speaks really quick, you catch just a glimpse for a moment as Estella's eyes go a shade of like a light greenish tealish blue. There's like a moment of brief light. It's reflected in his eyes for a second. He kind of almost falls and kind of almost collapses and hits the ground, and then when he sits back up, his eyes have kind of cleared. He's looking at you again, not just so much through you. There's a lucidity that he didn't have prior. And he kind of sits there, he kind of rubs his temples for a moment up your back. Oh. Who are you two?
Name's, Sir Bellamy Jack.
Estella.
Alright. And what I'm doing in the Death's Door?
Not sure.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember how I got here.
What's the last thing you do remember?
It's all there, but it's all blurry. He looks at the two of you very... kind of quickly sizing you up. Who sent you two here?
Yeah.
You're concerned citizens.
Sure.
Apparently something strange has been happening among the Ravenspire.
Yeah, they don't just send concerned citizens to check on old captains.
They do when the Ravenspire ends up in the forest.
That doesn't make you concerned citizens now, does it?
Well, I can be as concerned as I need to be for a price. I'm not here for
Alright,
I'm not
you've
that
drug
kind
it
of
out of me.
concern.
What I've asked is who's hired you.
Oh. The Lords.
Makes sense. He kind of looks the two of you up. He clearly recognizes Bellamy's Admiralty uniform, but he kind of like is just trying to assess why the two of you are there. He kind of pauses for a moment. Alright. Well, we were on the ship, and the fog started to come in real thick. Pulling, it would pull through the windows. Fog isn't normally that
Intrusive?
thick. It looked like gravy pouring through the windows, pooling on the floor. It kept coming and going. It had an eerie smell to it. It smelled of brine in a way that the sea does not, like the stagnant water of a long-set decaying tide pool. Not death, though. Almost salt, and it was odd. It was like the strongest smell of the sea I'd ever felt. And then, as it poured in through the windows, the next thing I knew, we were out to sea. The winds were hard, it was intense. We quickly tried to dock the ship, get the sails up. The anchor was gone. We were adrift in the vast, endless ocean, no idea how we got there. Half the crew was up on shore, visiting the tavern. They were up for leave. Only those who stayed on the ship that were there.
Wait, so most of the crew wasn't there at the time?
Well, as much crew as it takes to man a ship at night. Probably about half the crew, the other half were out on land. Finding company, spending coin, as you do.
I wonder if they turned back up in town.
From what you are aware, the crew that were on the ship disappeared.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the other crew members who were offshore were fine. But then as it poured in the windows and as everything went, we all heard a voice like song. And then, before I could stop myself, I watched my crew one by one jump off the ship, off to the waters below. And sooner than I could stop myself, I was going over the edge with them. The water was cold and I tried to stay afloat. It was so cold. And then I found myself here. With... Well, he pulls out, kind of from his sleeve, an old, worn coin. With a little bit of that rust, that tarnish from being in the ocean covering it. This was in my mouth. He kind of hands it over to you. He seems to trust you more as the captain.
Yeah, Bellamy will take it and look it over, see if it's any kind of coinage he recognizes.
Give me a... Oh, what would this be? Give me an education check. Like a general education check. Because I don't
98.
think
Probably not.
Yeah. I don't think you're quite studied in what you'd need to be for this.
Nah, not by a
Probably
long shot.
archaeology would be better. Bellamy kind of looks it over. It's a coin.
Can I try to
It's
appraise
old.
it?
You can kind of see Estella kind of extend her hand wanting to look at it.
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
I do. Hard.
Hard success? Okay. As he hands you the coin, you're a little bit more familiar with it. Not necessarily in a historical sense, in this case, but you've seen these coins before. They are very old. It was coin that was used by the prior empire.
Okay. I share all this.
Because New London, and they don't necessarily talk about this a lot, New London was not originally owned by the crown. It was a different city before. They built on top of older ruins, and this coin is from those older days. They're usually quite valuable, but this one has some kind of cold weight to it that you're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm. There is something odd about this thing.
Well, That's something. Do you remember anything the voice might have said, even just phonetically?
I kind of like starts to rub his head, trying to think.
If not precise meanings, then maybe just intents. Got a sense of what the voice wanted you to do or anything like that.
What it wanted us to do was clear. It wanted us to go into the water. It sounded like a safety net. Really.
Luring you, maybe?
Luring might be a good term. It was comforting and warm. It promised us a respite from the storm.
Sounds like a siren song.
Yeah, right. I half expected to find a mermaid there, but I didn't. Just the water.
Apparently they found you in a whale up in Hemming.
In the city.
Yeah.
No idea how I got there.
Yeah, that was real bizarre. But, well, seems to be at least one connection. It's pitiful, but it is a connection. They're both water. You leaped in water in one place, came out water in another.
It's valid.
Hmm.
There's any underwater rivers.
Yeah, I wonder if there's
were
a...
covered up in town 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Can I roll for knowledge?
You can roll a
Navigation.
general intelligence check.
Navigation?
Have you rolled general intelligence check?
I don't think that's been nice either. Actually, yes, it does. Passive
Okay.
Intelligence.
Um,
It's in... Yeah.
There are many underground rivers through the city.
But none directly to Hemmings.
From the well in Hemmings, though,
Mm-hmm.
it is not... He wouldn't have gone from the ocean to the well.
Okay.
That would require going... That would require him floating up current. Otherwise, the well would be salt.
Okay. So definitely not like a natural passageway.
Yeah.
Oh, sure,
Something...
that-
Even if there is a passageway,
it wouldn't be a
something would have
natural-
had to have swum him. Like, he wouldn't have been... There would have been... It's against the current. It's not something someone would just float through.
Okay. If we went to one of the underground rivers, it would have been taken. Guided.
Things go to the sea, not from the sea inland.
Yeah.
Kind of looks over the two of you. There was one other thing, too.
Oh, yeah, mate.
I can't quite... In the ship, when the men started leaving, I saw a figure.
What type of figure?
Tell me about him.
He had faint blue skin, covered in tattoos. Swirling tattoos of serpents, fish and sharks. It was a lot to take in, to be fair.
Sounds like it.
He turned and he had two curved horns from the top of his head. They curled back and his ears were lined with piercings. Jewelry. A well-travelled sailor by the looks. He smiled and nodded and grabbed the helm, and that's when I found myself thrown off. I've never seen anything like him before.
Was he holding anything? You have any identifying bits? You said jewelry. Did any of them have any symbols on them or anything you can recall?
Any symbols? You got a piece of paper?
Sure do, mate.
You kind
And
of...
Billy...
Mhm.
Go ahead.
You go.
I was just gonna say, Bellamy's got. Well, he's by this point in time learned that when people call him on a job, he carries a full pack of supplies with him. So he-
using the accounting background?
Yeah, he's got his little backpack full of he's got a notebook, paper, pistol, whatever you might need.
What is that?
A boat?
A bolt. We're good for now. But okay. Yeah, he kind of takes a piece of paper from you and a little pencil, probably. Kind of starts to sketch out. It's a pretty rough drawing, to be honest. He's not an artist by any sense of the words, but you see, he's trying to draw a serpent, and even as crude as the drawing is, The biggest thing that you pick up is these were all line worked tattoos, so no color. And there was a symbol in the eye of the serpents that is you haven't quite seen before. It actually was a picture of a dagger going into what appears to be a skull. But the skull isn't quite human. Like, the teeth are too long around the edges. It's very human-esque, but something about it was just a little bit more monstrous. And the dagger was kind of reaching right at the crown part of the skull.
Okay. So dagger and a odd skull in the serpent's eye.
Again, his image is crude, but it's enough to kind of to make that
Gets
point
the
across.
idea. Yeah.
But he was covered in these. Would you roll for me? Actually, I'm not going to make you roll for this. While you've never seen this particular figure before, you have crossed someone matching a similar description.
What? Oh, interesting.
You knew him as a collector.
Oh, okay.
You know the one I'm referring to?
Oh, the one I got the vase from.
You know someone who matches descriptions of these creatures before. In
Not the
past.
same one.
Not the same. Clearly not the same one, but similar descriptions.
Come across someone like that before. Strange.
Really?
Yeah.
Well. Alright, Captain Barossa, Estella, do you have any other questions for Barossa here?
No.
Alright then. Barossa, just so as you know, me and the lady here, we're sort of professionals when it comes to weird stuff like this. So, if you got any other details you'd like to share, we're the people to share it with. But if there's nothing else you got for us, we're probably gonna go on about our investigation. You take your time, resting down and healing up here, even if you don't necessarily feel you need it. It's best to take it while you can.
Yeah. Watch your
Define
back
weird. I'm a sailor. I've seen it about all in my day.
well, yeah. Watch your back as well.
Blue-skinned men with horns, serpents with eyeball tattoos.
That's fair. Nothing that I haven't told you already.
Yep.
If I think of anything else, I can try to send word. Where are you located?
For me, you'll find me, and I'll give him my posting at the dock.
His eyes click with a moment of recognition. Your particular crew has a bit of a reputation around the dock because there's a bit of intrigue around your crew.
Yeah.
It further cements, I'm going to dare say, respect from the captain. He knows you to be a good captain, basically.
Yeah, I'm a great captain. I'm fantastic. I'm the best around.
He kind of gives you a slight smile. Oh, fair wind to yourselves then.
Sure, mate. Thanks. You as well. Be seeing you then.
He kind of looks down himself up, looks at the painting on the wall, and then he opens his window and slides out.
I love
All right
it.
then.
He has earned my respect.
You very well know exactly why he did that, which is he doesn't want to be stuck here.
Yeah.
Well,
Bellamy's gonna
let's
chuckle.
Wait
Mhm.
15 minutes and then go report him escaped crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you make sure to give him a good long head start before you
Leave the
inform
room.
the already overwhelmed secretary that he just bailed out the window.
Crazy as could be.
You see her move it into a pile of a couple other patients' records,
Just a
just
pile.
somewhat nearby. Thank you for letting me know.
Mhm.
Did you get what you needed? Do you need anything else?
Absolutely. Thanks.
Okay. You hear her, Doctor Brown, we got another. Just kind of as yelled across the room.
I like this hospital.
It's a hospital full of very drunk sailors who don't want to be here.
I might come back.
Either way, the two of you though are kind of taking off out of the hospital. So,
All right.
sleeping.
Stella, I think I want to go check out that whale. see if there's any mysteries there.
Yeah.
That seems like a good place to start figuring out what the heck's going on.
There you go.
So, tell me about this friend of yours who bears a similar description.
Odd folk. Odd folk. Some sort of collector? I hope I don't cross paths. But I had to go retrieve some, I guess maybe apprentice or something, who was poking in things he shouldn't.
Alright.
And found this collector fellow. Very strange.
Okay. So you think this little tattoo here is this some sort of a unifying organization, or
Well, the one I meant didn't have any tattoos or piercings type thing.
Roll.
I don't believe he was the same individual.
I actually think I want you to roll for this.
Doesn't matter, I rolled 94.
No. That's you're gonna fail regardless. Yeah, you didn't see any kind of tattoos, any distinguishing marks, anything like that on him or his collection.
Yeah.
alright then. Guess we'll just have to keep an eye out for it. See if
Yeah.
it pops up anywhere.
Let's hope not, but sadly, I don't know what's come over this town.
Mm-hmm.
So inconvenient. Anyway,
Alrighty. And I think we'll make our way over to the well.
Okay. It takes you a little bit of time to kind of cross through town.
Yeah, I need to go all the way over to the bridge and
Kind of
through several.
catch the little trolley, kind of through part of square. There's a little bit of a journey. You're going from one part of town to the other. But you're kind of going the opposite direction of a lot of traffic right now,
oh,
as it's kind of rounding about noon that day.
it's in Hemmings, right?
Yeah, it's in Hemmings.
That work?
Right by the garden, kind of like right up by the northern road past the garden. Yep, right about there. You kind of walk and you kind of approach the well. This well in Hemmings, this isn't a well that's used for drinking water per se, except maybe some like very poor
Animals.
folk
And animals.
or animal like someone might get it out. It's more of a wishing well. It was a well that was built here when the city was much less crowded. Now with
Yeah.
everything around, the water isn't known to be the cleanest here.
Yeah, so this well is connected to the North End River, which
Mhm.
is all paved over now. It's not actually cleaned.
Mhm.
So there is still some contamination, probably from up north of town.
Yeah.
It does sometimes get into this river. I
Yeah.
kind of informed Bellamy.
Hemmings is very much a middle class, salt of the earth laborers area.
I thought,
Alright.
yeah.
It's not industrial. It's where
Clemsboro
traders,
is the poor
merchants
stuff.
live. People who aren't
Oh.
wealthy.
Clemsboro hugs around the edge, but Hemmings is this inner part that's
Yeah.
more of like a red pink.
It's a little hard to see on the map. I
Yeah,
can't change the
it's what
colors,
hugs,
unfortunately.
It's what hugs the garden.
Yeah. Hemmings kind of hugging the garden. They're well to do. They're not poor, but they're not necessarily people of means.
Yeah.
They're those who don't ever worry about where their next check is coming from usually, but they aren't rich. They're just kind of the average middle class Joe as far as the city structure is concerned, as opposed
Gotcha.
to Clemsboro, which is a lot more of the
The poor.
lower
and that
class,
hugs
poor
around the edges of the town. and
industrial
down into
workers
the
and
gardens.
whatnot.
Yeah. Probably the most interesting about the North End River is that it's very difficult to get in and out of. Most
It's
of
very
it-
what?
difficult to get in and out of. They've closed all the accesses over time. A lot of them have been bricked over and then forgotten.
Ah.
I don't know if I even
see.
know of any easy access points anymore.
Well, this well might be one.
Yeah, if you want to plunge into it, but I'm not sure if there'd be an air pocket anywhere soon.
For what it's worth, the well is there's probably about a 20-foot drop to some relatively clear water below.
You probably can't see
Yeah.
how clear it is from here.
But
Bellamy's nodding as he's opening his pack, getting out an oil lantern, lighting it, pulling out the rope, tying it off to, the little cover, and taking off his jacket and putting his knife in between his teeth and setting up a belay for himself. He's like, oh yeah. Yep.
He's like half in the well by the time that you're still explaining this stuff. Bellamy's pretty quick. He's worked with rigging before. This is definitely something you're not quite used to, though, so I am going to have you roll
Absolutely.
a climbing check as you try to descend down the well.
I'm not
Yeah, all
climbing
right.
down the well.
You don't have to.
Oh,
He's the one
my.
who's doing
I
it.
kind of turned to Bellamy. I could see about some informants without us having to get down there.
Bellamy's gonna raise his hands and say no, and realize he's let go of the rope because I just rolled 100.
Oh! Bellamy, with all full confidence, yeah, he kind of hops onto the rope.
You get a face palm, Bellamy.
He kind of... Oh no. He kind of takes a hand. He doesn't realize that when in the process of climbing over, he hadn't lit the oil lamp yet, fortunately, but he dumped that kerosene oil all on the rope, slicking it up as he just plummets 20 feet into the well. It's not that far of a fall.
And water, you know.
And
Probably
water, but
slap on the water, but
as he kind of falls down that well,
bend your
Yeah.
knees.
Banging against the walls and slapping into that water.
I rolled a d6 for damage just because you're like falling down a well, and I rolled
Yeah,
a 6.
yeah.
So you
Nice.
take 6 points of damage as you just
Oh, jeez.
dun, 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 like you can hear him just dun, 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 as he like falls down the well, followed by that light bloop as he hits the bottom. What's your health at?
It went from a 14 to a 9.
Okay, one more point of damage, and you would have had to roll a Constitution save to see if you had stayed conscious. But you're good.
I'm glad you're still
The
conscious.
cold water shocks you very well awake after the impact, but you hurt like heck. The rope
Yep.
is down at the bottom with you, so you are kind of able to grab the rope at the bottom of the well. But you are now at the bottom of the well. Your oil lantern, it has fallen into the well at
And
this
it's probably
point.
been
It's-
pulled down by the current.
It's gone.
I'm out a good oil lantern.
So is the rope still tied to the top?
Rope's still tied to the top.
Okay, well then I'm going to stay at the rope.
You're gonna stay at the rope.
Yeah.
Okay. You're keeping an eye on the now slicked rope. What are you doing, Ben? What are you looking for?
I'm taking a minute to like
There's probably not
Nice.
a lot of head clearance.
Mm.
The water's pretty close to like there's a small air gap, but it's pretty stale and dank. But there's a bit.
There's actually not any head clear. The well goes up the tunnel.
Oh, okay. The water goes up into the well.
So he's not like in an open cavern. There's definitely an open cavern further down.
Yeah, there's like a couple along the way.
But
for the
he
most
is-
part, the water's like right at the
Yeah.
top
He is this particular one. The water's kind of risen
over time.
over time. It kind of goes up and down, but today especially.
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
there.
Bellamy's gonna regain his composure. He's gonna feel his head for any serious wounds. He's gonna take stock and say, Estella, do you happen to have a light?
No, I don't tend to carry one.
Well, no use hanging out down here if it's dark.
It's
Just a moment.
there is some light.
Okay.
I
Oh, you did
also-
say it was around noon, didn't you?
It's around noon, so we're getting
So this-
about as direct light as you can into the well.
All right,
Oh,
then
yeah, it's not
Bellamy.
like covered at the top. I also don't think you're gonna get as much light from like underwater if you were to.
Oh,
put
yeah,
a
no,
lamp
no, no.
down there, my friend.
My intention was to have an oil lantern like right above the water where I am, so that light would travel a little bit, not to take anything down with me. There are sea lanterns which I might be able to get access to as a sea captain, but I don't think I imagine those are a little more difficult to get hold of than these kerosene lanterns. So we might have to.
Do you want me to go grab something?
I mean, it's quite a trip. We might as well both go. I'm not going to sit here and prune up and send you to do it yourself.
Sure, it could be pretty quick.
All right. Yeah, no, just a sec. Bellamy's going to take a big, deep breath, and while still holding on to the rope, he's going to see what he can see underneath the water with the direct sunlight that's there right now. He's just
Okay.
gonna do that much.
You're gonna roll me a spot hidden check
All right.
and a willpower check.
Okay. Here's the spot hidden first. We're dealing in extremes here, my folks. I went from a 100 to exactly 1. You can see it right there in the chat. That's fantastic.
Oh, that is.
That's
Yep.
beautiful.
So that's
Okay.
a 1 for my spot hidden.
Okay.
Let's see what the willpower is. Where's my? Is that just the power, or is there a will? It's
There
been a while
is
since
a.
It's power. Same
It's
as-
power?
Yeah,
Power's the one.
they're the same.
Power's the 1. Okay. 69, which is a failure by a few points.
Not
But
nice.
nice.
Okay. Well, first, before you dive into the water, on
wait.
one of those bricks, what were you gonna say?
Wait a minute. I've got above sanity 65 and 92. Are you sure power is will? I feel like there's something.
It's usually like will.
Is there a
Open
will?
your character sheet.
It's power.
Yeah, it's PW. How do they abbreviate it? POW.
Just is that the one? Okay.
That's what you're
That-
running a straight check off that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. It still stands. I only have a 65.
Okay. You are always welcome to spend luck to make something a pass if you want.
Oh yeah.
Do it.
No, I do want to because I got plenty of luck.
Do
Okay.
it. And then we can push him to let us get luck points back.
I'm going to say at the end of every session, where luck has been spent, I'm going to allow kind of like a 1 automatic, just to encourage you guys to be willing to use it because I think it's a useful mechanic.
Mhm.
I know, but I didn't get approved.
Is it just 1 luck point to move it to a success?
You have
It's
to move
1 per
per-
number.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to spend
Okay.
4 of them.
So let's
So,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, if I spend 4 real quick. 1.
It would
2,
bring it down.
3.
And you can do that, it's like whatever. It's like if you wanted a hard success, you can spend some luck to get it down to a hard success or extreme success.
I don't recommend
Nah.
doing it unless it's close.
But yeah. What was that?
I'm gonna move
I
it
don't
down to a
recommend
regular
doing it.
success.
Yeah.
Spend 4 luck points.
Yeah. And I'd always be careful with it because it can be very expensive very quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like all of it's really expensive. I hate doing
Yeah, for the time being, I'm going to basically, you get 1 automatic, basically, luck improvement check at the end of a session if you use luck.
Wait, so you have to use luck to be able
I give you 2. Okay,
I
fine.
know,
I'll just
but-
do 1 per session.
fail?
But I might have to put a cap on that because I don't want it to
I
get
know,
too
but I'm
high.
like, until I get my luck back, I'm not spending it.
Okay. You failed both?
Yeah.
You... Okay. What's your luck at?
60 something.
It's not bad at all.
I hate
Yeah, but...
next time I'm just gonna
ba-
fail
ba- ba-
the
ba-
roll.
ba- And there's other chances you might get a chance to, like, earn luck. It's like a karmatic reward type deal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but apparently I don't have good karma.
The baby is hot as can be. I don't know if y'all can see the space heater attached to me. She's out cold. She's so hot.
Yep.
She's like 1,000,000 degrees. I'm melting.
Yep.
But I don't want to move her. Because my DM complaining about how much I love my daughter. Come here, Limp Noodle. I'm just going to reposition. Oh, do you want her?
Sure.
Oh. Okay. I'm cold again. Okay. So, the first thing that you notice before you dive into the water is right at the top, there is a faint symbol carved, kind of scratched, and relatively freshly into the stone, matching the symbol that you described, a dagger into a skull.
Okay. Probably
It's on
is
the
it
stone of the well.
on the stone itself? All right.
Mhm.
Is there anything remarkable about the stone it's carved on, or is it literally any other stone?
It could have been any stone in the well. There's nothing remarkable about the stone.
Okay.
So it's just carved into it. And then as you dive into the water, and start to swim down, you notice, well, it's at the very, very, very bottom, like deep, deep down, like almost impossible to see. There's a little flicker of light, a little flicker of blue light, warm, comforting, reminds you almost of the sky. You can see at the bottom of the well. It's very deep and you barely see it, but it is there, and kind of as you see it, it seems to be the source of a little bit of a warmth that kind of courses your body, calling you to it, that you are kind of able to shake off. You don't just immediately fall for the call. It doesn't necessarily feel like there's evil intent. You don't follow the call. You are still in control.
Gotcha.
You don't try lured into it. There's that little fleck and that warm sensation of kind of drawing you towards it. Like it feels like that way's up in a way.
All right.
But your mind knows it's not.
Okay. Yeah. All right. As I go down, how deep does the well itself extend before it turns into the river with the river or the cistern, whatever it is, the aquifer?
It's about probably another probably 10 feet. Then it kind of reaches that roof of the aquifer. This little glimmer of light you're seeing, though, is probably 40, 50 feet down. It's at the bottom of the aquifer. And the river kind of runs through. The current's fairly faint, but...
Okay, that's good. He's going to swim a little bit beneath the bottom of the well, and he's going to look up at the cavern around him to see if he can see any of those air pockets.
There is one.
Okay.
There's one air pocket that you can kind of see immediately just because of that spot hidden. Which would give you a little bit of fresh air. And it doesn't put you terribly closer to the that little glimmer at the bottom, but you're probably about 40 feet above that glimmer. Better than the 50 feet from the well. Yeah.
He just wants to be aware of, like, okay, there's an additional source of oxygen over there. All right. And then he's going to swim back up and start working on... Well, first he's going to look at that symbol, and he's going to just try pushing on the stone to see, like, hidden passages, though. Consider. He's going to push on it, see if there's... Basically investigate around it, see if there's anything else, if it's marking something beyond just that the... Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna try to push the stone itself?
Yeah, basically just push the stone itself.
Okay. You kind of push on the stone. There isn't anything unusual about the stone. As you push on it, it doesn't sink in like you'd expect it to. It doesn't click or anything like that. There is a... You get the sense that this was actually relatively recently carved in.
Like, perhaps as recent as a week ago?
Perhaps as recent as when the captain was found in the well.
Yeah. Alright. That's what I figured, but, doesn't hurt to double check to make sure there aren't any secrets. Yeah. Bellamy's gonna grab onto the rope and start hauling himself back up.
Okay, you're gonna roll me another climb check.
Alright, baby, come on.
You're still a bit dazed.
I'm helping secure the rope.
Oh, gravy. That's 94.
I'm helping secure
Let's
the
see.
rope.
What's your climb?
My climb is... Where's climb? There it is. It's 45.
I'm helping secure the rope.
I know you're holding the rope. You climb up, and you're doing pretty good. You're really excited. You saw a lot of interesting things. You get to that part of the rope that you doused in kerosene. And hand over hand, you slide, you slip, and there's a small little thunk of your head as you kind of thump against the wall. Would you roll me a... Is that like an athletics?
An athletics?
Whatever, I'm trying to avoid just saying a straight dex check, but I don't know what it would be other than a straight dex
Let's see. What else? What is there?
A hard success on dex.
On dex?
Psychology. Stealth survival.
I'm gonna count this as a straight dex
throw.
then.
Yeah. A
hard to
There's dodge, but you know.
Yeah, we're gonna count this as dex.
Yeah.
You rolled a hard success? Yeah. You're not gonna take any damage, because as you slip and go about just to fall again, your head like hits the wall, not enough to hurt. It's a little bit of a thump, but before anything else, you feel Estella kind of grab your coat and kind of pull you up on the wall where you're able to grab the ledge and pull yourself over. A little bit
Oof.
dazed, but yeah, the rope is very dangerous right now due to the kerosene.
Bellamy's gonna pull himself out in the, soaking wet, sopping. He's just gonna say, "Yeah, I spent most of my youth swimming instead of climbing trees." Yep. Anyways, he's gonna deftly untie the rope and spin it back up.
Grabbing what's left of the rope, spinning it right back up. Doesn't take you too long. What are you doing next?
Let's see. What was he? Well, I think first Bellamy's gonna say, well, here's what I found down there at the well. There's that symbol we noticed that the captain was telling us about. It's carved down there, likely by him. Further down, probably 50 feet from the water line, I'd guess. There is a little pulsing light, bit of warmth, bit of a pull to it. So there's definitely something down there. I'm not exactly opposed towards going down to check it out, but I think I'd like to do a little more studying up before diving right in, as it were.
Yeah, I agree. How to see if we can cross-reference this symbol anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, Caitlin, you're you're
Mike's-
kind of quiet.
The
Yeah,
mic is
Yeah.
here.
I keep talking to my computer. We gotta cross-reference this symbol. See if we can find it anywhere.
All right, that's a good plan. I might see if there's any more information that can be dug up on the people disappearing on that ship out there on the Raven Spire.
We gotta see if any of them have been accounted for.
All right.
Right.
Whew.
So you are going to try to find out more information for the other missing people from the Raven Spire?
I'll see about
Yes.
the people. You cross-reference the symbol.
So who's doing what?
People.
People? Bellamy's looking for the symbol. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You are going to roll me. This is going to sound weird. I'm going to actually count this as.
Navigation?
What?
Navigation?
No, I'm going to count this as a credit rating check. Basically, you pulling your favors and connections that you have made. What'd you roll?
82. I would have gone to the Rat King.
You would have gone to the Rat King?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, you go to the Rat King. Mr. Gregerson, you were looking up the symbol. You are going to roll library use with a bonus die because you have access to nautical records.
Oh,
Which
epic.
is where you would go for this.
All right.
Knowing that this was on some kind of seafarer, you immediately go to where, all the good, like where you would be going to look up ships, crews, things like that. You've had to do research like this before in your position in the Navy.
Okay. That'll help, but we'll see. That's all I gotta
So,
say.
yeah, let's roll a D100s.
Sweet baby, I rolled a 16. Library use starts at 20%.
Well, roll again in case it's better.
Yeah. You just roll a d10 to replace that, right?
You roll a D10s to replace the 10s. So basically, you could get a 6.
Nope,
That would have been a
it's 16.
66. So yeah, 16 is the better one.
Yep. But
Okay.
I successfully did a library use.
You did.
That's good.
So, sorry, God. So, I'm going to come back to you with the Rat King. But, digging through all of the records that you can find, first off, check library use.
Yes, sir.
You have seen this symbol before. or not before. You find someone who has seen the symbol before in the library records, but only one, which is less than you would expect if it exists.
Mm-hmm.
The symbol was found by... It was flown by a very prolific privateer many years ago, known as, well, to most people, they called him, sorry, they called him the Tide Baron. The Tide Baron is only like a couple stories of him, but he's basically this legendary privateer that kind of actually... So for context here, this does take place on a version of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
This guy shut down, like, he's tied very heavily into like that kind of Bermuda Triangle-esque Caribbean days, where like ships would say the Tide Baron came. No one ever saw him, but the ships would be relieved of all of their cargo. Usually not in a way that left them too terribly off. He wasn't killing people, but he would loot everything and leave them a single wooden token with that symbol carved into it. Although
Okay.
it seems to be that those tokens aren't common or have since all kind of ended up elsewhere.
Being wood probably don't last too well.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's kind of what you gather out, and it is something. You, on the other hand,
I exchanged favors of the information we just learned.
yeah, you exchange a little bit. You try to talk to the Rat King. He's always a fan of trading information for information. What you get from that brief conversation, which we're not going to play through for the sake of brevity, is that he doesn't know, realistically. They disappeared, and they have not reappeared, with the exception of the captain. However, when the Rat King says that, it does take away the uncertainty of them being, stuck in a pub somewhere. The Rat King hasn't heard anything. Those people are
Still missing in action.
still missing in action. They're not here.
I'm assuming the captain was only found because whatever he was sent to do led him near that well. That's my assumption.
Okay. I won't confirm or deny any assumptions, correct or incorrect. Anyway. Now, did you two have a plan to meet back together, or?
Probably.
If not, I can find him super easy.
Bellamy is going to take this opportunity to attempt to try some of his new tricks out. After doing some research, he's going to go to one of the private rooms. I assume that, in the library there's probably private rooms.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to attempt the healing spell that was taught to him by Janice.
To kind of piece together himself?
Yeah.
Okay. You are going to roll a power check.
Okay. 25. My power. That's a hard success.
A hard success. Okay. And are you trying to basically get yourself back up to full? Are you just experimenting around? What's your intent here?
To basically, yes, get myself to full, but it is definitely with the feeling out all parts of the spell with the intent of mastering it as Janice wants me to do. So I will accept learning more about the spell at the expense of effectiveness on myself, if that makes sense.
Yes. Letting the spell run its own course, you quickly find yourself topped back up to full health at the cost of 1 magic point per health.
Okay.
This time round. It seems to be... You very much just trust the flow of it, and it's almost like you just managed to tap into that last little bit of power, and the power kind of ran its course. It was a fairly recent wound, it wasn't a large one, and it was one that happened all at once, so it was kind of able to take it away pretty easily.
Cool. I think he's gonna revel in that a little bit. before uh, uh, taking what he knows. Can he find any other writings on the Tide Baron, or does this represent what we know? Is he's a storied privateer.
You rolled a hard success.
What did I roll? That
A
was
16.
power. That was 16. Yeah, so that was a regular success.
Okay. Regular success. No, just what I told you.
Gotcha. All right. Then yeah, he's I think we would have planned to meet back around the docks.
I just go find him.
Yeah. You have like a fairly little setup meeting point at the docks. It doesn't take you too long to get there. You definitely get there before him. You had a fairly short one. He took a little bit of delay with healing himself. But as the two of you arrive, probably at like a roughly scheduled time, probably like about mid-afternoon, right around the time most people would be getting dinner. Probably getting food on your way, to be honest.
Yeah, probably maybe meeting at a diner even.
At a little diner, probably. There's a couple down by the docks. A little seaside pub where people aren't going to ask too many questions, and the food's greasy and good and filling and cheap.
Good.
But yeah, kind of, you're getting there. You've already had whatever you'd want to eat and are probably working on like a cup of tea, glass of wine, whatever you'd be drinking.
Probably tea right now.
Just kind of casually sitting there. But you come in, you place an order. You've been here many times, Bellamy, so your order's basically, they see you walk in, they know what you're getting.
Yeah.
As you sit down at the table with Estella and kind of exchange that information that you just kind of gathered.
And we do that. We exchange the information. Now we all know what each other knows. What's this?
We are joined.
Oh.
What's happening?
Hey! Hey!
It's me,
It's
the
Smokestack.
Cogganity.
How you
Hey,
doing?
oh, yeah, Smokestack, yeah, that guy. Hold on, let me try.
Smokestack.
It's me, Smokestack. That's how he talks, right? You sound like a lisp.
Gonna lift?
Smokestack.
Oh, you gotta make me start lisping again, guys.
It's me, Smokestack.
It's
I chose a very good name for myself, Smokestack.
This is why you don't smoke, kids.
As many S's as you can. Hey, I'll have you know, I am not a smoker, I just have a grumbly voice.
Hey, my name's Smokestack. I chose the name so I'd never forget to not smoke big fat cigarettes and cigars.
Exactly it.
We are
One for
great.
one.
We're great influences on children, y'all.
Family friendly stream, hold on. Nah, we're good. We only have the LGBTQIA plus tag.
Okay, we don't have the family friendly stream. We're good.
And our
Okay.
kids are asleep, so.
I'm dropping F-bombs, let's go!
Yes, Gray Griffin, known for his frequent and often use of the F-bomb.
Hey, listen, Taylor, you were there, I think, the only time I've ever heard him say the F word, right? It was
Yes,
it was
I
at our
was.
friend's house,
Yeah.
and he shouted it very loud in the echoey living room. It was
That was
And I love how I know
The
him
thing
enough
is-
to know that it was probably the only
It-
time, right?
The thing about Greg Griffin too, it was the just genuine, sincere apologizing after is why we love him. He's such a good guy. Like, I know I'm just shouting about like while he's sitting here with me, but yeah, it was such a genuine, like, just heartfelt apology after. Gray's a great guy, everyone.
It
Yeah.
was great. In high school, I don't think any of us had ever heard him swear. We were all sure to like monitor our language around him out of respect and all that. And just in the middle of everything, he's just ranting about like what's going on in his game, and just suddenly shouts the F word very loud. And there's like a moment of silence. We're all mixed in shock and delight, and like what? What? And Gray just sits there for a minute, like his eyes go wide, and he's just, I am so sorry. It's one of my favorite memories.
Hey, I will have you know, I haven't said the F word since last time I was at work. Work sometimes doesn't bring out the best into Daffy, everyone. When I'm
It
staring,
won't be
when,
work if
I'm
you're-
staring at accounting papers, and then I'm like, why did they not do this? Anyway, but
That's amazing.
Anyway, we're here. Hello, are you joining us?
Yes.
Perfect.
Smokestack probably wanders into the pub.
Yeah. No, it's perfect time, yeah. So Smokestack, I want to talk to you a little bit after the stream, but for sake of brevity, because as you're kind of entering into the bar...
He probably tutored a little bit of...
If you want to do some private filling in, I can silence myself or whatever. If you guys want to do that.
It's not necessarily needs to be something done right now, because it's something I just want to discuss to him a little bit. But you found yourself otherwise occupied for about a day right after the events of the last session. You found yourself kind of busy taking care of a few things that we'll discuss post-stream. But it's why you weren't able to immediately respond to Barnaby's summons for this job.
As well as over the last month, you've met with Bellamy once or twice.
You probably met with Bellamy once or twice over the prior month before the last stream to discuss magic and whatnot. He was trying to learn from wherever he could.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But yeah, this. Did you catch the earlier part of the stream? This is right after the previous stream. This is like the next day or two after you dealt with the Arch-Chancellor.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I have an idea to introduce Smokestack to the scene, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yes, you would have received a summon, by the way, and probably spoken to Barnaby at this point, knowing that you were going to make like $200 for this job, and are just trying to catch up with them. So that is something you've been aware of. But Smokestack enters the scene. Cute.
So the doors fly open as a street thug smashes onto a nearby table. Smokestack comes wandering in after him, bleeding slightly from the side of his mouth. He places a neckerchief on the side of his face, right there on his cheek, dabs it, and looks at it. And anybody who's paying close enough attention can tell that it probably belongs to the man that he just threw through the door. Alien.
Just real quick, as you enter, the man in front of you, Bellamy from one of the tables will raise his mug with a mouthful of cod and fries, say, "Oh, Smokestack!"
Smokestack pauses mid stance and "Oh, hey, Bellamy. Oh, hey, Stella, hold on. I'll come talk to you guys in just a minute. Gotta wrap something up here."
Clearly.
Yeah, Smokestack then leans down over the guy who is staring befuddled up in the air and shows him the bloody kerchief and says, "See that right there? I'd say that's worth about £50, mate. Here's the problem. As we've already established, you don't got no money. And, well, that ain't a problem either. All right, Jacob, you and your boys can do your thing." He shouts to the bartender behind the table. And two very large, muscular young men come out and grab him, the man unconscious on the table, and kind of drag him off. Smokestack stuffs the kerchief into his pocket and goes over to the table.
Okay.
You have quite the delicate touch there, Smokestack.
Bellamy.
I am a number of things. Delicate is not one of them.
Bellamy washes down whatever he was eating. He says, "Have you talked to Barney about the job?"
Yeah, I had a bit of a chat with him on my way here. Just had to take care of this one, kind of wrap it up on the end there, as you saw. Sorry about that, by the way. Seems you was having a wonderful evening.
Oh yeah. Let me catch you up on what we've discovered so far.
Naturally.
And, I don't know how much you listened to, but basically, captain of the ship. Okay, so a ship disappeared from the harbor and reappeared in the woods to the north of New London. Anyone that tries to go on the ship does not come off again. Big mystery. The captain was recovered the other day in a well over in Hemmings, and was brought to a hospital because he's babbling. We went and met with him. Stella did some finger wavy mysterious stuff, and his eyes cleared, and was able to tell us his tale about being on the ship when a thick fog that smelled very briny, very much of the sea, but deeply, rolled in, and they found themselves out in the open ocean without knowing how they got there. And then there was a voice like a song that drew everyone to begin jumping off the side of the boat. It was comforting. It sounded like a safety net, sort of alluring. But before he jumped, he looked back and saw a blue-skinned individual with horns curving back and ears full of piercings and skin covered in tattoos of various sea creatures. Saw the figure take the helm and give him a little nod, and then he jumped off the ship, and that's all he seemed to remember. Other than some of the serpents had symbols of a dagger in a sort of monstrous human skull. So we went and checked out the well. Bellamy fell in and almost did half his health and damage because he fell. And then got down there and saw a warm, pulsing, inviting light that did do a little bit of a... You had to resist it a little bit. It didn't seem malicious, but it is encouraging for coming back up, finding that same symbol we talked about carved on one of the stones, likely by the captain. Then we went our separate ways. Bellamy to check the library to cross-reference the symbol, and Estella to talk to the Rat King about people who have been going missing on the ship. Bellamy discovered that the symbol was, at one point in time, belonged to a man named the Tide Baron, who was an infamous privateer who stole people's cargo but left them well enough alone otherwise in the Bermuda Caribbean areas. And Estella discovered that the people that were on that ship are straight up gone. They're not, back in town. Yeah. And then we met back up here and discovered that Smokestack had joined the world.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, hi, how's it going?
I just spawned in down the road with a quest objective.
Little track marker at the local pub. Smash someone through the door to enter.
Never going to complain about that.
And that brings us to now, as we fade back into the game.
Okay. And there was probably some in-game character explanation getting everyone back onto that same page.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. And all of you also getting a wonderful dinner at some point. Smokestack getting some food from the bar, too.
Yeah. Bellamy will offer to pay for this meal.
Okay.
Don't worry. My old pal here at the bar, he's got me. He's not paying me anything else, so...
Oh, I paid for mine before.
Yeah, she was there early.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's paying for me, by the way. just to clarify. You guys don't get a free meal. That's a me thing. Sorry about that.
No, I'm not trying to get a free meal. I'm not letting Bellamy pay for mine.
Yeah. I'm not letting someone else pay for my meal.
Alright, I guess my goodwill goes to waste then. It's fine. Anyways.
Hey, if you want to... Hey, come on now. If you still got some goodwill, if you want to get me an ale, I won't say no.
Alright, 2 ales, please.
Okay.
3, Stella?
Why not?
3 ales.
Yeah, the barkeep one of the barmaids kind of comes back out a little bit later with 3 freshly poured ales. It's the house special. It's a good, strong ale. Tastes okay. It's mostly meant to be strong.
Fortifying.
It's very strong. That's the point of it. It's meant for sailors who aren't really caring about flavor as much as they are wanting to get cost effectiveness. Yeah. But
they've got the ropes in the back that you can lean on to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
I want a mug of Everclear.
But in terms of cost effectiveness, though, it's some of the best tasting cost effectiveness you've had. So they've put some kind of hops in there and other seasonings that make it almost like a spiced ale, but not quite. It's not bad. It's just mostly meant to be strong.
Yeah.
Anyway, as the 3 of you sit over there with the ale, what do we do?
So, our next point of action would probably going down to investigate that light, but that might involve being drowned. So...
Yes, that sounds right nasty, it does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a boat, is what you're telling me.
Maybe not.
There's not enough air
I'm just
down
sorry.
there.
I just imagine them trying to fit a boat down a well.
We
Even if
could-
you could, the nearest access, the current access is about a mile upriver.
Yeah, all right. So full disclosure here. I don't know spit about water besides the waterways that drain from the pipes into the river or the ocean. That's it. I am at a complete and total loss.
I
I'll
put my
tell you
hand
this
on your
much.
shoulder. This is the North End River. It connects to the pipes. At this point, I give him a location that he would recognize.
It's one of
Yeah,
the
and it's
few
supposed-
underground rivers that connect
Yeah,
to
like
the
it's
pipes.
been completely paved over, but like I let him know where it runs by a familiar pipe.
Yeah. You can catch blind fish in that.
Yep.
They
You
taste
can.
terrible, but they are
They
very
do.
good. They
Actually,
can, let me tell you, you can
should try
distill them down to get ethanol.
You should try smoking them.
I have a
Wait.
friend who does that. We call him Crazy Jersey.
Smoke like a cigar, or smoke like cure.
A little bit of both.
No, smoke the
Oh,
fish. The flavor's better.
Oh,
All right, I'll have to give
Well,
that a shot.
I'll tell you this much, Smoke. If you want to get a boat down there, I think you could manage. I don't know, a barrel. We could lower you down in a barrel if you want. But,
Actually, might be the closest we'll get.
That's the best we can do for underwater vehicles. There are scuba suits. They are rather
oh.
clunky, very limited range of motion.
Hold on. So we're trying to get into a well.
Yep.
All right. How big is it?
What a
It's,
stupid place to have access. Why on earth would they need access to a well?
Oh,
Let's
well,
assume,
sure.
Let's assume our captain was doing some job for them or something.
Look.
What on
Oh,
earth
I
would
mean,
they
that's
want
fair.
with a well?
Well, it could be
Some
something
location.
under the well.
Oh, that's true.
Kim,
Do you think any of the old pipes run under it?
probably the pipes run all throughout this entire city like veins
Well,
on a
No,
cat.
I'm aware, but what about any of like the unused maintenance tunnels? You should see if
That
anything
could be
runs
it.
underneath that well area. Maybe we could go
I'll double check on that.
under.
Bellamy, in the meantime, I have somebody you might be able to get into contact with if we need some subterranean transportation options. You ever heard of a diving bell?
a diving bell.
Yeah. It's basically just a big metal bell on a winch and a pulley system.
They use them for building bridges, right?
Yeah. We also use them for cleaning out some of the deeper parts of the pipes and scouring the bottom of the river for bits and bobs what's been missed by rich folk.
Oh, I see.
So-
Yeah, one of those would work pretty well for keeping oxygen.
Yeah, so the rat catchers don't own them personally. We contract out a guy, and he works here at the docks. So you could talk to him if that's what we're looking for. In the meantime, how about I look around through the pipes, ask around some of the other catchers.
I'll check
And,
the older maps. The older tunnels wouldn't be transcribed onto the newer ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was
Using your
figuring.
access to the archives.
Yes, I have a key.
Well, it's a good idea, and I'll ask around because hey, just because we don't go in the deeps doesn't mean we don't find all the forgotten access tunnels and such.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not a sealed off one.
Hopefully not. Either way, we'll find out.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
So
All right.
you're looking for. We got Smokestack looking for in the pipes themselves, talking to the other rat catchers. You're looking for blueprints,
Old
and Bellamy's talking to a guy about a diving bell.
Yep, sounds like it.
Okay. You roll me library use. You two, Smokestack and Bellamy. I'm gonna count this again as I'm gonna count it as a credit rating check. To be honest, this is again pulling your
Yeah.
resources, seeing what connections you have and what resources you have to kind of make these deal.
35. Oh, well, what's my credit rating? Where is it? Credit rating. I believe it's. Oh, nice. 38. That's a success.
Success. Actually, Smokestack, I don't want you to do a credit rating because your credit rating wouldn't quite fit for this. It's more. It's family.
Charm?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I'm sorry, just a sec. I need to go tend to my dog once more.
Okay.
Hopefully
take-
for the last time tonight.
Don't take too long. I miss you, Ben.
I won't. This should be able to be fixed with just. I think it just needs his chew or something.
We'll keep going and fill you in.
Okay. Charm. It's like
Intimidate doesn't really work.
It's like your resources, but at the same time, your credit rating score is so low, and I feel like you would have more sway here.
Maybe intelligence?
Education?
Let's do an appeal check.
Oh, appearance?
Appearance, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
It's like a general appearance check.
Ooh, I got a 16.
Okay.
Nice.
Hold on, my appearance is my highest stat.
Oh, there you go.
85. I'm not sure how that matches out, but...
Well, appearance doesn't necessarily have to be... That's why I use the phrase, like, appeal. It's how much attention you can kind of grab to a room.
Yeah.
Charisma.
It's your
It
charisma.
really is, yeah.
Yeah.
It means
Okay.
it also means the smokestack's fairly beautiful to look at. It's fairly attractive with an 85.
Yeah,
So-
no, I was going to say, that's always been part of Smokestack's character was... Before any of this magic or sword fighting thing, he was the rackish back
Carrot.
alley rogue. Yeah, Commander Carrot's
You've been dubbed as Carrot by my wife, so...
I mean, I think Smokestack's a tad more street savvy than Carrot, and
No,
probably
I
a
thought-
lot less
Right, but, like,
smart.
I thought
S.
more Vimes, personally.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
But-
he's definitely got more of a Vimes to him, but
Yeah.
somewhere between Vimes and Carrot is
Between-
maybe the
yeah,
most
yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
The best of both of them.
I like that. So 16 extreme success.
Okay. In terms of you failed your library check, you find nothing useful.
They reorganized the library last decade, and I'm pissed.
Last decade, gosh dang it. Who's the new librarian?
I'm pissed.
As you
Grandma?
as you
Where is she? I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind. She's buried. That doesn't stop me.
Basically, that's how it goes.
So by the time that when the group re-meets back, probably back at that pub again
Can
to
I
discuss.
push it?
You can push
After
it.
being furious.
You can push it.
I probably won't pass.
It does. You are aware that pushing it leads to a greater penalty for failure.
Oh.
You draw unwanted attention from the archive staff
And leave.
and have to bail out
Yep.
before they question where you got your key.
Dang it. Now they're gonna go and change the locks.
They probably would be changing the locks now that they know someone has a rogue key to the archive they shouldn't.
Oh well.
Depends on how much funding they have. You might be good for a bit.
That might
But
be good for
they
are
now
so
they
wonderful.
did catch your face and know that you broke in when you shouldn't have.
Meh.
Ooh.
Not like you broke in like a way that was necessarily illegal. It was kind of one of those like, oh, I've always had a key.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get in legal trouble, but now they're a little bit more wary of you.
That's fine. Can I go to the Rat King for possible routes?
No, not with that. He doesn't
Dang
know
it.
anything.
Lame. You
You
should.
kind of strike out here. It's more that you've just kind of rolled to the point you kind of strike out.
Fine. I go back to the docks. I'm really mad.
She's a bit grumpy. On the other hand, pulling all of your resources together, you know that there's actually not really any underground tunnels that would easily lead to access at the bottom of the well. There's probably some that are close, but we're talking a good bit of digging.
Yeah, unless we're gonna pull out some picks, and I'm gonna pull out some. But if I'm being honest, it'd probably be a couple casks of ale from the bar to pay some folk to work in hard labor at a wall for a while.
Yeah, they moved all the maps around in the archive. I'm so overjoyed.
Yeah, and
They do that a lot.
kind of fuming around the archive.
No, apparently not. I didn't think they ever would get around to it, but apparently they did.
Oh, yeah, that's right annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
What archive are you going to anyway? I know you're an archivist and all. Just the city archives, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. All right, fair enough. Well, we'll have to hope Bellamy pulls something out then. We'll see how his meeting goes. In the meantime, though, I guess we could try tapping a couple other resources.
Actually, while we're waiting for Bellamy, I'm going to address something real quick while I got Smokestack here.
What?
while you two are kind of like eventually working your way back. The reason why you were occupied beforehand is the stone itself, the mantle.
Yes.
When you, and very well aware that the figure in the mantle brought you back potentially from almost beyond the brink of death, that night you have very lucid dreams of walking through a place of darkness and fire. It's very tangible. You're there. You can feel the heat. You can feel the smoke. You can feel things looking for you. And it's only when you wake up that you realize you'd been asleep for almost a full 24 hours. They were a little bit worried, running a bit of a fever and having almost like a light sunburn in a way. Like the heat physically affected you. But you do quickly come out of it. But you were out for like a day. Your body was kind of putting itself back together. And the stones returned to its normal glowing temperature. So, but that is why you were preoccupied.
Okay.
And you kind of
Yeah,
feel
that
it,
makes sense.
feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll probably still maybe talk a little bit more, but that's just a quick little thing, because it sounds like Dog Boy's back.
I am back.
Dog boy.
I just had to give my
Legendary
dog his chew.
combination of
He's
dog
addicted
and
to
boy.
tobacco.
Your dog's addicted to doggy tobacco, dog chew.
I'd say I'm sorry, but it's paying for my college, so I'm sorry, Ben.
Listen, it's not a lot of people. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Ever since you told me about doggy tobacco, I haven't been able to find anything about it on the web. You're the only person that sells it. But I mean,
You know, specialized goods.
it's the darndest thing.
The darndest thing.
I don't know where he gets it from, but my dog sure does love it.
He really likes it a lot.
What?
Okay. So I think we're just waiting on Bellamy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bellamy. You go talk to a man about a diving bell.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't take you too long to realize that with pulling you pass your credit check rating, right?
Yep. Regular success.
Okay. Getting a diving bell that you can borrow isn't going to cost you anything. You actually have access to one due to your work down at the harbor. Getting someone to man it is a different story. Like, you can get access to the equipment. You do need to find someone who's willing to man it. But it's fairly easy to find someone you could pay a few bucks to do it, or a few pounds to do it, or have one of the three of you, depending on what you wanted to do. But you have access to one. It's not a very big one. It's a newer model that was designed for very specifically going kind of very deep places through narrow passageways. It was built to be small and compact for transportation on tighter vessels.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Um,
I'll be honest though, with the setting you've hacked together here, David, you could say pretty much anything you want. I'd be like, yeah, that makes total sense. Magical steampunk diving bubble. Okay, that checks out. Sorry, go ahead though.
Yeah.
That wasn't a complaint. That was an
No, you're good.
admiration.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about steampunk. You can pull whatever you want out of a hat. Stick some
That's a
gears
good
on it and
point.
say that you use steam power to make it work.
Easy game.
I didn't know they had mech suits. Steam power, man, just saying.
Steam power, man.
listen. Steam seems the most optimal powering system for a personalized mech suit, is all I'm saying.
I mean,
Hydraulics, yep.
you joke, but it might actually be. Like, steam power only narrowly beat out beat out coal. Or coal only narrowly beat out steam.
Yeah.
That's because coal was most cost effective.
And hydraulics would help you move the joints and
Oh, a hydraulic system would make sense no matter what power system you
Oh
got.
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, one of y'all draw a functional blueprint of a steam-powered mech suit, and I'll let y'all have it for the session. Deal?
Oh,
I
okay.
would never wear one
You would never
As a
wear. I would
character.
never wear one.
as a character.
Smokestack would.
I
There might
would.
not be a city afterwards, but
Kaiju style fight scene.
I would don one to put down Smoke, my old friend.
who's gone crazy and become a giant fire demon. That's how it ends.
I put on my
So,
mech
plot
suit.
spoilers, y'all. Plot spoilers.
It's got a megaphone. I say, Smoke, this isn't who you are.
Of course it's not, mate, but we need a climax for this story, otherwise we'll lose viewers.
My heart's breaking,
Do
but
it
I'll
for
do what
the
I have to do
views.
for money.
I like the idea that your mech suit is like government issued.
Absolutely.
It's got like the
Queen's
logo.
crown and a circle of lords' swords or whatever. It's got the royal crest.
Oh,
So-
I'm here for it.
Why did you and your wife get divorced? She didn't appreciate me putting a mech suit into my steam-powered Victorian game.
I don't care.
Why did you get divorced? That's the straw that broke the camel's back. That was
The mech
that was
suit.
it.
That was
It
it.
was the mech suit.
Cross the line. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
I love you too, Ben. I love all of you. Okay.
I hate every one of
Aw. I know you mean it, Gray.
you.
I'm gonna cry now.
I'm gonna cry. It's so sweet.
I've worked so hard, and I'm so glad we've reached that point in our relationship.
You guys make me
Oh,
laugh so much.
goodness.
My stupid headphone falls.
I'm sorry, Caitlin.
They're just crappy headphones.
I'm sorry for boring. I apologize.
Oh,
While I'm working to bring us back into the game.
yeah.
Yes.
As Bellamy walks in, I have a very frustrated look on my face.
Oh yeah, Estella is pissed, like with a capital PISSED. Like she's fuming. She's had like 2 cups of tea now. You can like she didn't even like wait to have the second one. Like there's like a literal 2 empty teacups in front of her. She's clearly frustrated that she didn't have the best time looking for information.
Just real quick, while I was dealing down at the docks, dealing with what are they called? The wet bells?
Diving bells.
Diving bells. There we go. Bellamy wants to try to pick up a couple sea lanterns, which is a vague. That's a real kind of lantern, but it's not what I'm just like a light source for underwater. I assume they're probably more expensive. Oh, are you still talking?
I am. I mouthed by moth and waved because of the chat.
Oh,
message. I
okay.
was trying not to disrupt the flow, but apparently you noticed me.
I did.
Okay. But bye, moth. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's in this Victorian steam powered setting a form of light source that is usable underwater.
So there are, and you can find them down at the dockyards. They are a very. They are kerosene powered, but they basically have just enough of like a one-way ventilation. They don't last very long.
Oh yeah.
There's something about it's not normal kerosene that's in them, but it kind of helps keep it oxidated and let it burns a little bit longer. They are completely water sealed. They are very expensive. They are cutting edge of technology to have a light source underwater. There are also much more temperamental and more expensive little battery-powered electric lights, but we're talking like early battery tech.
The batteries.
Yeah.
The battery's huge.
So they're heavy.
And they're heavy, and you don't know how much to trust them. They do, in theory, last longer, though.
I was gonna say smokestack has an electric light, but it's water resistant, but not waterproof. You
This
couldn't
is-
submerge with it.
This is a waterproofed electric light, and it is very bulky to get that waterproofing needed around the batteries.
Oh yeah, this thing's covered. I'm imagining it covered in rubber and tar and just it ain't pretty.
It ain't. No, they're not. They're not very pretty. No.
So, I
It
think
like makes a
Bellamy's.
humming.
Yeah. I think Bellamy's gonna forego the battery-powered lights. How much are these expensive kerosene lights?
When we did your credit rating, on the one character sheet it says like pocket cash spending level type stuff. Did you fill that out?
I did, and in addition to that, my spending level is 35, and we got paid for one of the jobs. I have $100 cash on hand right now,
You have
written
$100
down.
cash in hand. These would probably cost about 20 a lantern.
20 a lantern. Well, it seems a worthy
The electric
cost.
one would be about 50.
50, you say? Quaint. I think Bellamy's gonna spring for 2 kerosene lamps.
Okay, that'd be $40. 40
yeah.
pounds.
40 pounds. Place that with a 60 now. And because even if they're, even if we don't end up needing them for this one, it seems a good thing to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Add two. Let's call them water lamps or something like that. But add 2 of them, and they do come full. The oil is also very expensive. A lot of the cost comes more from the oil that needs to go in them. That kind of unique kerosene blend, which is not quite kerosene. It's like a fuel and almost an oxidant, if that makes sense.
All right, it's a sort of oxidizing fuel, not the whatever the opposite of oxidizing fuel is, where the byproduct is oxygen, which allows it to burn.
Yeah, it's like as it breaks down, it also kind of helps release some oxygen, and then kind of vents out some of the extra.
So I imagine that these lanterns, as you go down, release a stream of bubbles. Nice. That'll be cool.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that image a lot.
I like that.
They last for a full tank. Will get you probably about 2-3 hours worth of light. It's not a lot, but it's enough in most situations.
Sea lamps, 2 to 3 hour. All right. Coolly. So I hire a guy to bring a diving bell and man it for us.
And the diving bell can come out of just like your day-to-day what you would spend. Like it doesn't. I'm not going to charge you for that one. But do take the 40 out of that 100 that you have on hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
And it's probably, to be honest, it's probably one of your crew that you're paying.
That'd make Bellamy feel great. Have someone he trusts.
Yeah, it's someone you trust. You have a good crew. It's one of them.
Somebody who can thrash if something goes wrong later. You'll be able to track him down.
Yeah, this one's Pike.
Pike. Okay.
Yeah, this guy's Pike.
Pike's probably come with you to the inn. He's got the diving bell outside, ready to help get it over. He's a younger. He's kind of like the cabin boy. He's younger, but he's good.
He runs a mean winch.
Yeah, he's got places. He keeps up that mean winch work. He's got places he can go, man.
Yeah.
He might end up on like head anchor guy in like a couple years.
That's the title
shoot.
too.
So.
Oh man, that's got me jealous. I'd killed the head anchor guy. Hey Bellamy, that's good, right?
Well, something to do with your hands.
Anyway.
I'll take that as a no then.
Well,
All y'all.
it's not Captain, it's not Torpedo. So
Not the guy who's in charge of the torpedoes. The torpedo, best position to be in the ship. Just launch at high velocity to others.
You are going to be hurled from the cannon at incredible speeds.
Anyway, back into this session. You are sitting there. The three of you have probably met up at the same pub. Estella looks frustrated as could be. Bellamy's got a diving bell sitting outside with some young guy named Pike out in front of it. And Smokestack's contemplating how many pickaxes he might need if you're going in that way.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, hey, Bellamy.
Hello, Smoke.
Who's this young buck?
This here is me cabin man, Pike.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Pike. Put it there.
Hi, I'm Pike.
I can see you look like one too. It's a pleasure to meet you, Pike.
I look like a pike? Like the
Good
fish
strong.
or the weapon?
That depends on how sharp you are, I suppose.
The first mate says I'm the sharpest hammer he knows.
Yep.
Yep, that sounds right nice to me.
Oh, it doesn't. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, indeed. You're an indispensable part of this mission, then. It's a pleasure to have you around, Pike.
I give Bellamy
Good
a
to
look
be
like
here.
you trust him.
Bell. Yeah, Bellamy's gonna hold
I
up his
do a
hands
real
and say,
brilliant job of working the bear lift thingy, ma'am.
Inspiring confidence.
Smokestack is going to whisper lowly to Estella. Estella, look. He's clearly dumber than a sack of hammers. Those are the most trustworthy people you can find. They're not smart enough to double cross you.
You have a point there, but I'm more concerned about competency.
listen, if there's one thing Pike can do, it's wind a winch. All
I know how
right.
to wind the winch.
If there's one thing he can do, just the one thing.
He's indispensable when it comes to winding winches, and you know.
I also know how to make coffee.
Is that your thing?
I like making coffee. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this whole thing doesn't work out, you can get a job as a barista.
What's a
See,
barista?
that's-
Yeah.
Well, if this doesn't work out, you could get something else. All right, let's get a move on, huh?
Right? He kind of starts to push just happy to be there. Starts to kind of help move the diving bell along the road.
It's important to know at this point that Bellamy.
Maybe doesn't have very high standards, does it?
Yeah, no. I give Smokestack a look like, are you sure about this?
Look, I have never been more sure of anything in my whole life. Bellamy, I'm sure here, right? Like, this isn't going to go horribly wrong, right?
Oh no, there's no chance of that.
All right. See, yeah, now we'll be just fine. See, Bellamy said so.
Oh yeah, nothing could possibly go wrong.
The day Bellamy lies to me is the day that I'm probably going to die anyway. So, all right, let's get a move on.
Okay. You
Smoke, you've heard tales of mermaids, right, and sirens and such.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen one.
Yeah, nothing could possibly go wrong.
Fair enough.
Well, you arrive at the well. As you kind of slowly pull outside the well and start to look down, the water level's about the same as to where it is, and you're kind of cresting just before sunset. As you've kind of approached the well now, it's kind of at the end of the day. And kind of as you're sitting there, you start to see Pike get everything set up for the diving bell. He does it with the precision of a well-practiced sailor, everything aside.
Mm-hmm.
It's something he's done a lot. He knows how it works. He doesn't need to know how it works to know how to put it together, how to wind the winch. The basics.
I don't know the physics of it, but I know how to make it do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he starts to put it together with enough confidence and consistency that you actually have a little bit of faith restored. The diving bell itself is just barely small enough to fit in the well, but it's actually only going to hold, it would comfortably hold one person. If you put the three of you in there, you would fit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tight.
I'll say this: Bellamy is anticipating using this bell mostly as a mobile source of oxygen. He intends
Okay.
to swim alongside it.
Okay. It's like it is meant for one person. You could just cram
Yeah.
3 in it. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well, um,
Stella's on the more petite side, so probably we fit 2 people in there, and then the person used it for air. Probably fine.
And
Bellamy's taking off his jacket and his pants, and he's wearing his swimming uniform underneath. Nice type, little stripes on it. He's got his knife strapped to his shin, and his harpoon strapped to his back, and he's ready.
all right.
Bellamy's going
Smokestack.
prepared.
Smokestack rolls up his boots up to the thighs, straps them on tight, big waterproof boots, and gets ready to go down with the bell.
What do you do?
I'm getting into
You're getting ready. She's getting ready too.
Bellamy's gonna hand Smoke one of the sea lanterns.
I don't do much to get ready. I just climb in.
Okay.
This thing's supposed to be shaken.
No, don't shake it.
No, I mean, all right. What if it shakes on its own like it's doing right now? Should I be concerned?
Nah, it's fine.
All right, then.
Just be sure the lid's nice and tight before you get in the water.
Right. Which part's the lid?
Let's see. There's a little. Okay. Show them that there's a. I imagine there's a not too complex, but still, more complex than average seal
Yes.
on the lid. To keep it as watertight as possible, so all the water is being forced out continuously by the vents after it's lit.
Mhm.
I'll show him because I assume the person I bought it from would have showed me, and I'll
Yeah.
pass it on.
You
Its
probably
function.
you probably light. You probably light one of them at least
Hmm.
if you're heading down. Do you light the other or no?
I think we'll light them both, so they have a light source inside the bell, and I have one outside of the bell.
Okay. As you light them, you can already hear that kind of vent kick off a little bit. There's like a slight little breeze from it. The gas coming out of it smells quite terrible, but the diving bell has a basically constant pump source of oxygen, so all that's going to get sucked up. It's fine for the diving bell. You wouldn't want to be in an enclosed bubble of oxygen with one, though, like the air pocket that you found in the well earlier. One
Oh,
of
yeah,
those would be
no.
a bad idea.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like in the diving bell, what's getting cycled out, it's fine. In the water, it's fine. But yeah, as you kind of get there, Smokestack and you kind of climb inside. There's not really. It's kind of like a slight little bench thing to kind of sit on a little bit.
I'm kind of squatting next to it.
But the
probably.
two of you are probably like kind of like half sitting on it because there's only the one.
I'm kind of squatting on the floor.
You're kind of. It's not really a floor.
Well, I'm not on the bench. I'm squatting
Okay.
off the bench.
Like there's like spots to put your feet, but it is an open bottom. It's like a cup. It's just a cup that gets lowered into the. Okay. As that starts to be lowered in the well, I'm assuming Bellamy's actually going in on top of it. That's probably the easiest
Yep.
way to get in. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of lowered down. Bellamy kind of holds his breath as the two of you go into the water. The light kind of casting below. It's a bit of an odd sensation because you can kind of just hear the water start to rush up to the sides, but that air bubble does stay perfectly intact on the inside as you hear the little pumps whirring as they try to keep that oxygen flowing through and keeping the fresh air from above pumped down into it. On the other hand, Bellamy, you take a deep breath as you kind of
Oh,
pull
yeah.
into the well. And once it's past that probably initial 10 feet and you kind of have room to move around, I'm assuming swim down kind of towards the bottom of the bell.
Oh yeah. In case it comes up or needs to be reflected anyways, Bellamy does have a 70 swim.
Okay. With a 70 swim, I'm actually going to count this as a passive success. Does it make sense? You've swum in the
Yeah.
water plenty of times. I'm not going to make you do a roll check.
Epic.
There's nothing outside of swimming that you are an experienced swimmer. So there's no need to do a check.
Oh, hey, Smokestack's actually got 40 points in swim.
Nice. It's a good skill to have in those
Mhm.
damp tunnels, probably.
Yeah, that was probably my thought when I gave it to him. I just didn't realize he had them.
Okay. Well, as you descend, I need all of you to roll a willpower check. As your eyes start to
okay.
acclimate to the light. The sea lanterns do provide good, decent illumination. they are less helpful in the bell. Because the light kind of hits that reflective surface of the bell. And, like, you can see farther in than you normally would, but there's also, like, that little bit of a halo that kind of obscures things.
Pass.
I'm gonna
Pass
spend 2 points to make it a success.
Okay.
2 luck points.
And what about Smokestack? Power check.
6 critical success.
Critical success. All of you feel this rush of warmth, of comfort come over you, but you hold off. It doesn't pull you in. Again, there's not a malicious feeling nature to it, in as much as it is something that pulls towards you, kind of comforts you down. And sure enough, Bellamy almost notices this immediately. It takes the two of you a little bit longer. You notice this faint little glimmer. It almost reminds you of the sky down below. And as you keep, I'm assuming, descending towards it,
Mm-hmm.
as the bell kind of keeps descending down and down, there's a light little current kind of pushing through. Nothing crazy.
Hey, real quick, I assume. Can I assume that we established a pull once to stop, pull twice to pull up kind of system with a pike up there?
Yes, there would be some kind of system you had set up.
I meant to mention it earlier, just in case that was in doubt. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
Standard
probably
operating procedures.
Yeah.
There's probably a series
standard.
of bells up through the same pipe that's filtering
The air.
us oxygen in and out of.
Yeah. There's probably like a little alarm switch on the inside too.
Cool.
So, but yeah, as it kind of keeps descending down, what originally fairly accurately felt like 40 feet, you can see the floor rising to meet you, but it doesn't look like you've gotten any closer to this little blue light. And as you get closer and closer towards the floor, there's almost what you realize, it feels like an elongating tunnel beneath you. The closer you get, the farther away it is. You can see the rest of the aquifer's floor rising, like you're descending down, but you're just not getting any closer to this light.
It's like that one cinematographer, that one camera move they do in movies where they zoom in and then pull out at the same time.
Oh,
The
yeah,
dramatic realization shot.
dolly zoom.
Yeah, that one.
And as you keep getting closer and closer to it, trying to get a better glimpse of it, there's a moment where you hit, you kind of hit the bottom, and the bell suddenly stops. There's still water below you. It feels almost like where the aquifer's bottom would reasonably be, but you can still see more water below you. And Bellamy realizes this. The two of you in the bell don't, but Bellamy realizes this. The moment you cross that threshold, it's as if the water pressure reverses.
Mm.
The buoyancy wants to pull you down. And the bell, sinking, has reached neutral buoyancy right here.
All right. Bellamy's going to swim under/over the opening of the bell and poke his head through and take a deep breath.
Yeah, getting a good breathful of air.
And he's going to say, well, it looks like it's like a tunnel to China down here. It suddenly changed. Now the downwards is up. I think this might be a hole to somewhere else.
Yeah, looks to be.
Sounds right weird, but alright. I guess we're swimming from here?
You won't have to. I don't know if the bell can keep going in this direction without flooding itself.
Yeah, it's not really how that works, is it?
Yeah,
Alright then.
My sense of perspective is all wonky, given how it's been changing up till you got right up to it. So I could try to swim up there and see how far it is before you guys, set off on your own. Or we could all just see if we can make it.
I think we might be better off if we just go. Let's leave one of the lights up here in the bell so we can navigate our way back to it if we need to.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, leaving a light in the bell. the three of you taking probably the one that Smokestick had. There's like a little hook almost you can hang it on.
Mhm.
The others kind of turn and you go head first into the water. Bellamy's still holding on to the light. The water, you two
Yeah.
haven't really been into it yet. It's fairly cold, but in a kind of refreshing way. It's not freezing. It's actually surprisingly tepid. And as you start to swim, I need all of you to roll a Constitution check.
Yeah, okay. 88, huh?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not spending the luck points to fix that.
Smokestack's going to go ahead and spend 4 luck points
Okay.
in order to pass.
Okay. As you cross that threshold fully, it is vertigo-inducing. Water pressure shifts. It feels like you do a barrel roll. It is very hard to maintain without getting dizzy. And both Bellamy, despite being an advanced swimmer, and Estella, who hasn't really swam a lot, you suddenly just feel incredibly nauseous and dizzy. Everything's spinning around you. I need both of you to make a swim check. You are fine. In fact, you can kind of see them getting disoriented and try to help. Not one. Okay, well, first let's check your swim.
Yes.
Ooh, 14.
Both of you pass?
Yeah, that's a 14 is my what's it beyond hard?
Extreme.
Critical.
Extreme success.
Extreme.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had you two, like, it's nauseating. You're about to lose, like, the contents of that wonderful dinner you just had. But you swallow it down, you kind of swim, you orient, and Smokestack sees you kind of get dizzy for a bit, but you very quickly have reoriented and are already swimming back up. Estella, who's never really swam before, is like a fish to water right now.
Yeah,
Even.
You know what? As a character, I don't know if I've ever swum before. I'm
Like,
figuring it out.
It's like,
right
you
now.
can see, like, she has that, like, dog paddle kid in the pool for the first time
There's
type
not
swimming method.
muscle memory.
There's not muscle memory, but she's doing a dang good job.
But
Like,
she's a natural.
There's this just instinct she's following, and she starts to swim up. And all of you actually start to swim up. You swim for... It's about a minute, but that's the full extent of, human lung capacity. So you're by the time that you kind of have swum for a minute, right as your lungs are hurting and you feel like you can't breathe anymore, your hand strikes through the surface of the water, and the three of you kind of fairly close to each other swim up and gasp for air, just pulling in the fresh night air. And as you look around, you find yourself in the center of a calm but vast ocean with a beautiful sky above you, but a sky you don't recognize. There's, for starters, 2 moons, multiple stars, and strange lights streaking through the skies. These seas are strange, but they're calm. And you realize the water is it is salt water, which it wasn't when you were first in the well, but kind of fairly close by there is a small island, not fairly big, but on it is what appears to be an old mishmash of styled buildings. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's like a building on a building on a building, stacked out and built in ways that shouldn't logically make sense. Like, held together over the years, just all mixed together, every kind of architectural style. Some you recognize, some you don't. And a small little dock in front of it.
I hate the physics of this place.
Any ships tied up to the dock?
Oh, there's several ships. There's actually a lot of ships. Not like decent. Looks like a decently active port with one building in it.
Well, this is something.
Hi. How about we swim that way, I guess?
One moment.
Are you pointing towards the city?
Anywhere but the open ocean, so yes.
It's
Towards
the
the
only thing that you see, by the way. The rest of it is open ocean around you.
Then yes.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. As you kind of swim to it and eventually pull yourself up on the docks, kind of carefully looking around, trying to make sense of where's where, what's going on,
There people around?
There are.
Huh?
There's a mixed match of people, and you look for a second, and some of them, it takes you a second before you realize they aren't all people per se. Most of them look human. Some of them aren't, though. The facial structures might be a little more animalistic. They have fairer skin or scaled skin. Some look reptilian. Some look almost feline, and all of them look distrusting at you. The newcomers.
I look distrusting right back.
Oh yeah, me too. I am.
But not hostile. Just distrusting as you make your way towards the clear front door of this establishment.
Before getting there, Bellamy's gonna suddenly turn around and check the flags on all the ships, and he's gonna scan them for the symbol, the dagger in the skull.
There is a single vessel, a beautiful galleon, well maintained with intricate carpentry, flying that flag, docked at the harbor.
How about we just head there?
Yep. Bellamy's gonna tap the other two, kind of back of the hand, slap in the chest, and point it out. Say, "Look, Todd Baron. That's a symbol. This might mean things."
Yeah, it makes sense. Just to real quick check, what was our job?
Initially, to discover what the deal was, what the ship disappeared and appearing in the woods, and what the connection the captain had to it.
I think we might find something a little more useful than that, I hope.
Yeah. The job in of itself was the ship that had disappeared from the harbor and reappeared in the woods. Anyone they sent to explore it has disappeared. The goal was to figure out what happened to it and how to take care of that problem, because it's only a couple miles outside of town and everyone's already paranoid as this.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a large vessel that could
Yeah.
be doing other things. That's a lot of money tied up. That's like
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars just
It's-
sitting in a forest.
It is a private mercantile vessel, though. But still,
Them trying to move that thing is going to take ages and money.
yeah.
It might be more cost effective to leave it there
and
and
build
maybe
a new
just
one.
reconstitute the iron.
Yeah, pretty much. Build a new ship.
Still, either way.
I think we might be outside the bounds of our jobs at this point, but this
This ties
I don't
into
know.
it. This is worth it.
Well, if we're outside the bounds of a job, at least I'm going to get a drink.
Bellamy, I'll just say this, Bellamy looks very excited. There's a light in his eyes. This is exciting to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here for information, so Estella's kind of the same way. I'm gonna get awesome stuff here.
Okay. Where do you guys go?
Bellamy goes up to the closest individual on the dock.
I'm kind of with
The
them.
nearest individual, just flat off from where you got off?
Yep. Walk right
Okay.
up to him, dripping. Go right up to him.
There's a very... They look fairly human. Their clothes are different than what you're used to, but they look human.
Walking up to him, he's gonna get right up to him and say, "Oh, mate, what's the local parlance here in this here dock? We're new to town. And you understand anything I'm saying?
The parlance. I didn't hear-
Parlez-vous?
Parlez-vous? Are you asking if I speak common?
Yeah, that's a word for it. I understand the words coming out of your mouth. That's good enough for me. What's the name of this here dock? This here
This?
city?
It's called the Lost Tavern. That's the tavern. Those who find this are usually lost, or they know the way. You're new here, aren't you?
What gave it away? He's gonna smile.
He kind of smiles back. Bellamy's got this natural kind of sailor charm to him that kind of matches this other fellow sailor. Oh, you look about like I did when I first found it.
How'd you come about this place? By ship? By a siren song? Weird whirlpool?
Mutiny in a shipwreck.
Oh.
They threw me out to sea. Found my way here.
Well, you made yourself a nice, comfortable life.
Oh yeah, I sail on a couple different ships depending on my mood. Is that a spider? No, it's one of them big old ants. Got big ol' ants here. Anyway.
Got
He
big
says,
ol'
looking
ants
at
over
the
there.
giant dog-sized ant scuttling across the dock.
It's only like...
Like a centimeter.
It's like a centimeter.
It's like the size of a small cat.
It's only like this
Dang ant.
big.
God, they got big ants
It's like
here.
this big. It's a little big. Okay.
A big ant.
Yeah, it is a big ant. Anyway. Oh,
Well,
sorry. Yeah.
tell you what-
Oh, right. What brought you here? You don't look like... Well, let me rephrase that. They don't look like sailors.
No, not even a little bit. Those two's is city land dwellers. Well, one of them's a tunnel dweller, more, but, you know. I brought them along with me. We're all on a sort of investigative job. Don't mean to cause any trouble or anything here in town, in case that's worrying you. But I do wonder if you could guide a fellow sailor to the best place to get oriented around here. Some sort of information broker, some sort of centralized town distributor, something.
Well, if you want to know that, you're gonna have to talk to Nadia.
Nadia?
Nadia.
All right.
I suppose I can show you here. She always likes meeting someone new.
Right. That'd be real pleasurable of you, mate. Thanks.
He gives you a bit of a nod and starts to kind of walk towards the tavern itself. As you...
Bellamy's going to give the other two a thumbs up.
I'm right by Bellamy.
As you follow him, again, most people here look normal, but there's a couple people that really do stand out. Either scales, reptilian, maybe they have a tentacle, something like that. Like there's something odd about them, but by and large, they mostly seem to be various kinds of human. And as you walk through the front door of the tavern, it is the most lively tavern you have ever seen. Food, delicious smelling food, drinks, there's a bar playing familiar shanties in the background, cards, gambling, the works. It's very loud, it's not hostile, it's not necessarily welcoming, it's not like, hey, new people, like they ignore you largely. It's just very busy though, and very lively. It's kind of an interesting place to be. And you can kind of see stairs leading up to other floors and balconies, and you get this sense this place is huge, housing probably thousands of sailors at any given time without issue. And kind of in the midst of all this, you're kind of walking when you find that he's slowly leading you to a woman dressed in fairly simple clothes. They seem to be a nice little canvas cloth, but as you get closer, you notice just intricate patterns of waves sewn into the fabric itself. And as she turns to you, her eyes are the color of seafoam gray. Very catching, and her hair's kind of pulled back into a messy bun, and she smiles warmly. You feel the sense of warmth just course through all of you.
Is it exactly the same as that feeling that we got from the when we were diving?
Yep, it's some kind of warm thing. It's definitely her that was the source of it.
I see.
Oh,
I see.
Hello. Oh, thank you for bringing them over here, Landon. She kind of gives him a little pat on the cheek. Oh, who are you? You're new.
Hello, miss. I take it your name's Nadia?
Nadia is, but you have me a bit of disadvantage. I don't know any of yours.
Name's Captain Bellamy Jack, ma'am. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he's
Ooh,
going to
another
put out a
captain.
hand.
He says, shaking his hand. And she kind of offers her hand next to us.
Shake it. Estella.
Estella. Well, she kind of takes her hand back. You kind of see her rub her finger for a little bit and smile at you in a very...
I don't trust her at all.
The smile she gives you is a knowing approval.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
And then she goes to shake Smokestack's hand. And the moment that she shakes your hand, you can kind of see a little bit of a twinge of surprise in her eye that she visibly lets slip before she almost accidentally pulls her hand back a little bit too quick from shaking your hand, Smokestack. You barely managed to get your name out.
Smokestack.
Ah, you... She kind of looks you up and down. Are you currently carrying the stone with you?
Yes.
She says with a light gesture to whatever pocket it would be in, and company.
Yeah. Jazz is a good girl. She and I have a bit of an understanding.
Well, as long as she stays in that stone, we won't have a problem here.
Smokestack nods his head understandingly.
Anyway, what brings the three of you here? You don't seem to be lost people looking for a barely way of chance to survive.
No, came here with a bit of an intention. Listen, I feel like I can put it all out on the table before you. You seem, so far as I can tell, the most well-informed person, the best connected person, or a good place to start, anyways. Where we come from,
New London, right?
Yes,
I
yes,
recognize
that'd be the
the
place.
outfit.
Well, it seems one of our ships went missing and then reappeared offshore, as it were, inland a little bit too much inland for most people's tastes, and crew up mysteriously disappeared. No one's able to step foot on the remains of the boat without, not coming back again. So far, the only person that we've been able to recover is the captain of that particular ship. Managed to get a little information out of him, led us to this place. I was wondering if you could guide us to what might be causing the problems our side.
Captain Barossa?
That's the very one. Good, good.
I never forget a captain that comes through here.
Well, seems he might have forgotten you.
He wasn't awake when he was here.
All right, cryptic. Good, good.
No, well, a dear friend of mine brought him in.
All right.
He often does that when he finds problems like that.
Blue skin fellow, horns, lots of tattoos.
Yeah, that's the one and the same.
All right, you remembered that much.
That's good. How's he doing?
Seems fine.
The captain?
Yes.
He's recovered well enough. He wasn't speaking the common parlance when we got to him, but we fixed that up.
We were a little worried. The crew want... I might be able to help more than you realize. Follow me.
Can I do a psychology as she turns away? What
Ooh,
vibe am I
wanna
getting
roll.
from her?
I want to roll psychology.
Both of you can roll, yes.
And really trying to disassociate myself from the warm, comforting, inviting feeling. I'm
Wow.
trying to read more than that.
I don't pass.
You don't pass. You don't want to spend luck points to pass.
No.
Oh, nice, baby. There's a 14, which is a hard success.
Well, there you go. You don't get a read off of her.
I don't trust her at all.
Bellamy, you have found, and I don't know how more to explain it, the person that you are following teems with energy and genuine good intent in a way that you are not used to.
All right.
Yeah.
In a way
She's-
that's...
Nobody's
She's
like
not
that.
manipulative. You've just never met someone who genuinely wants to help.
Yeah, I don't buy any of it as a character.
All right. I think
She's-
Bellamy will take that into account, but I think Bellamy is also secretly thinking about how, he also probably doesn't quite trust the sensation that he's receiving of very inviting, very good, helpful, very inviting. But
The best way to explain this aura and her in general, I'm going to use the phrase aggressively maternal.
okay.
It wants to take care of you. It wants to keep you safe. Maybe too much so.
There we go.
It's not
All
that
right.
she's genuinely good. She's being genuine. She's not being misleading. But
I think for me,
there's a lot of power there, and power can be dangerous.
for me
Gotcha.
as a character, I'm kind of wondering what it's going to be like to try and get off the island.
But you follow her for a little bit. I'm assuming you follow her.
Yeah.
And she kind of
Oh,
leads
Bellamy
you.
will.
Bellamy will. Will the other two?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Smokestack for his part actually just genuinely likes her, and I don't know if he trusts anybody, but if he were to trust someone on first meeting without any other additional information, she seems all right.
Okay. Well, as as you start to kind of follow her through the various rooms of this tavern, this incredibly lively tavern, she kind of begins to speak. Oh, I've been running the Lost Tavern for a few years now. It's always good to see new faces here. We were much smaller when we first started building it, if you couldn't tell. We've managed to add on over the years. Sailors help out where they can. Build the place up. Provides a safe refuge for those in need. Jenny just keeps walking for a little bit. The captain of yours, I actually know him in the crew, and I even know the vessel. It's the Ravenspire, right?
That's the very one.
Yeah, it sailed into our port. It was strange. So this place is a beacon for the lost. It's, if you couldn't tell, different from where you're from.
I got that sense.
It exists outside of time and reality as you know it. A crossroads between many things.
Just like one of those old tales where when we get back to London, everything will have it'll have been 100 years or something like that.
Presumably a moment, not even a moment will have passed usually.
Well, that's good.
It's what it is. There is one thing though. If well, these people showed up. Normally, the only way to get here is to travel intentionally, knowing the way, or at least having found one of the few roads that lead here, or to be lost enough the place finds you. This boat wasn't either. It was as if it was ripped from somewhere and got caught here on the way.
Something's stirring up trouble.
The crew were unconscious, and it started to drift off. They would have shipwrecked had it not been for... Well, had it not been for Joffrey, the Tide Baron. He managed to get the ship steered and docked safely. And we brought the crew... Well, she kind of opens up a door at this point and kind of gestures towards a room full of unconscious crew members. You recognize... Bellamy recognizes a couple having like at a passing glance at the dock level.
All right.
But yeah, these are most of them. The captain was more lucid than the rest. He kept talking about... He called it the gaping maw. The consuming shadow. He said, Don't go below decks. Don't go below decks, he kept saying over and over.
He didn't relay anything like that to us. He was telling us though about a thick fog smelled stank deeply of the sea. Rolled in like gravy and pooled at the ground.
Can the three of you roll a psychology check as you mentioned that?
Yes.
Come on, baby. 1.
Pass?
Got a 19, baby. That's a
Pass.
hard success.
Pass.
I failed.
You failed. Well, Bellamy doesn't catch this. Or not Bellamy. Smokestick doesn't catch this. You still trust her completely. At the mention of the fog, the two of you recognize within an instant, before she catches it and buries it deep again, fear. She knows what that is, and it terrifies her as a very powerful creature. She quickly swallows it back down. Oh, Well, yeah, he talked about the maw, and then, well, he took off out the door, dived into the water one day. Speaking gibberish for most of it, but we didn't catch him fast enough. The ocean has a way to take people back close to where they came from.
Yeah.
Probably opened a doorway accidentally on his way there, though.
Well, that might be what it is, considering we were able to get back through.
Yeah, that'd be a doorway then.
How long does one of those last?
Depends. Usually a couple 100 years.
All right. So, can you tell us how the boat might have possibly accidentally ended up a few miles inland?
And that was the next strange thing. After he dived through, a few hours later, the boat, well, wind caught the sails and it took off from the dock on its own. We tried to sail after it, but not even Joffrey was able to keep up. It sailed away.
Okay.
No crew on board. And we've seen a lot of things, but never that.
So after Joffrey took control of the ship, did anyone else get on it? Had it just been docked at the moors there?
It just been docked at the moors. No one else had touched it. We figured once we figured out what happened to the crew, we could address it from then, but none of us are stupid enough to go on a ship that did that to them.
Yep. So, I've got a brewing theory here. What can you tell us about this fog, miss?
I find that things like that are best kept to those strong enough to deal with it.
All right. And what's your measure of us? We got that strength?
I haven't seen anything to tell me you do yet.
Would you like a peer review? Smokestack says, tapping lightly on where Jazz is located.
She gets a slight little half smile. And I'm going to have Smokestack roll a charm. I'm not sure if that's what you were going from, but that's what she took it as.
Alright, hard success.
I don't think that will be necessary. But I appreciate the offer. The three of you have dabbled in spellcraft.
Yeah, a bit.
Different means independently.
Indeed.
I was going to say, I think all three of us have dabbled a little bit here and there in the old PBGB practice, as it were.
I will give you that information for a trade.
All right.
She points to Bellamy. You come back in 1 week from now, and let me see what I can teach you.
I won't say no to that.
I would offer it for all of you, but she kind of gestures towards you first. I don't think there's anything that I could teach you, but I'd love to have a conversation sometime. If you ever want to come back.
I doubt that.
And she gestures towards Smokestack. As for you, well, I don't feel that I am the one who needs to teach you. But you have met who does.
Smokestack nods his head. Yeah, I think you're right on that account.
But you, sailor, I think I can teach you something.
All right. I'm always willing to lend an ear.
Alright. That fog you saw, it's part of a much bigger problem. We call the fog, well, they who consume.
Is it part of the thing that's waking?
It's what?
Part of the thing that's waking.
I would assume so. There's been a lot more things like that.
Sure.
The fog doesn't normally attack so brazenly. And it's not something that can be dispelled, it's already left. That ship, however, is marked. Heavily marked. It's probably what caused it to sail back away. As to how it got back onto dry land, that was probably their intent. It's bait. Who isn't going to want to explore something odd like that?
Yep.
So,
I'm not sure.
if you want to fix the problem of the boat, you have one option. Well, two options. The first, which I recommend, find a way to burn it to the ground and don't go back. The second, find a way to kill the sill that resides on it.
The sill. Alright.
And those seals are seldom easy to find. But it might be more productive if you can find it.
It just so happens seals is my specialty.
That is true.
Just to
Then-
clarify, you mean like magic, not like an act, not like
No,
one of the little ocean
magic,
dogs.
not the ocean dog.
All right, got it.
I
Yeah.
love the
No, those are my
ocean
specialty
dog.
now.
What?
Ocean dog.
Oh, she kind of gets a smile. I like the three of you.
We're a lovable bunch.
You don't like me, though, she says to Estella.
I don't frankly like most people.
That's a good way to live. Even if I disagree with it. Well, I have one bit more of advice, too. That ship, if you aren't burning it to the ground from the outside like I would recommend, you do go on board. The seal's the weak point, but you aren't going to have long. Maybe 15 to 30 minutes
After stepping foot on.
before it will consume you.
Alright. So we'll operate on an assumption of the barest minimum time, 15 minutes to get the job done. Well, I think there's some steps we can take to accommodate that. We got our SIL expert here. We have a captain with a layout of the ship. Any advice on where the SIL, or where the, I guess, its weak point might be?
I don't know where they would have placed it.
Alright. Any advice on dispelling it? Is it something I could be doing with brute force, or are there special rituals?
He's the one who's an expert on seals.
Yeah, might as well ask around though.
Well, I'm always cautious of feeding the fire. That might not be a half bad place to start.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was my plan.
Well,
I figured
It's-
it might be.
well, two minds agree on it. It's good enough for me. Sounds like we got the etchings of a good plan here.
Hopefully not
I mean, at the very
body
least, it'll be
count.
an exciting plan, and that's at least as good.
Hopefully not
Indeed.
normal body count.
What's the normal body count for you?
Too many. I point to those two.
Hey, now.
She looks
Listen.
at the two of you with like slightly less trust than normal, just barely. You get the feeling that she very much does not like killing, like at all, like very much against it. You catch in a moment. Not like she assumes that you're murderers, but the thought of killing she does not like.
Yeah, Bellamy doesn't have anything to say to that. He's a career military man.
Yeah.
Smokestack lives a violent lifestyle.
Mm.
All right then.
So you say it's usually just a moment when you pass back through the doorway?
Usually.
Is that... I don't know about you two, but sounds to me like we got an uncharted island to explore.
That seems to be the case.
Bellamy looks very excited.
Well,
Uh,
I understand the desire to explore the island. It's not that big. I'm just letting you know now.
oh, come on. I still gotta get a look around.
Oh, you're welcome to. I'm just letting you know it's not that big.
Oh, that's fine. It's not the size that matters. It's the experience.
I might meet you guys back topside.
Alright. Hey, Nadia, by the way, I haven't said it yet. Thank you for your advice, and thank you for your willingness to help.
course.
I really appreciate it.
Of course, it's what I do.
I'm very glad that coming through this doorway led to a helpful, inspiring place rather than an inverted sea hell. So I'm overall grateful. I'm downright giddy to meet you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
I look forward to that as well.
Listen, I know this island is small, but it wouldn't have to be a place that sells maps just for the hell of it.
I'm sure there's a cartographer in the inn.
Excellent,
But
excellent.
I don't know of one by name. Well,
All
I
right.
know of a couple of people who think they're cartographers, but...
I don't want someone who thinks they're a cartographer. I want someone to make a real official looking map. Thank you. You've been a great help.
Of course.
Anything else, you two?
Nah. I'll see you guys topside.
All right, Stella. Don't start any fights unless we're there.
As we do split up, how long do I got y'all? Because this is 1:44.
How long do you want to keep going? Is my question.
What was that?
Up to them.
Up to them. It is getting pretty late. I do think that this might be a good wrapping up point because we can pick up the next session.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could keep going if you got a
Huh?
We could keep going if you got a pinch.
The thing is if I keep going to fill out the boat thing, I'm probably going for about another hour. And I don't know how much time they got for this. So, you guys got like another hour? Do you want to wrap up here? What do you want to do?
It would probably be best for me if we wrapped up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I
there are a few less.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to do a few little things while we're here on the island. Nothing that
Of
would take up
course.
too much time. But go on with what you were going to say.
My character takes off.
Estella takes off. Doesn't quite like the island a little bit much.
Yeah.
You figure you'll touch base with them again to deal with the boat.
Yeah, I'm sure this will turn into stuff.
Yeah. So Estella takes off.
Chaos.
For what it's worth, by the way,
Mhm.
when you dive back into the water,
Oh, I get back fine.
it is incredibly easy to get back, and you realize you're basically up and out of that well without feeling like you even had to hold your breath. It's
Oh.
even easier. You know the path now. You would have been fine either way, but
I found my own way out.
you found your own way out? Okay, Estella apparently finds her own way out, which I don't know how she does, but she does. Whatever route that she took and how official it would have been, she found a way out. Either way, it's not hard to get out of this place back to where you need to go. As for the other two, what are the other two of you doing?
I want to get a well-detailed map
Okay.
made,
Souvenir.
if not just bought. And because Bellamy wants to get a map of an island no one's ever seen before and put it up on his cabin wall.
It's a souvenir.
You managed to get a map fairly easily, and all it costs is buying you the cartographer a couple drinks, and it is a beautiful work of art. It's one that he'd already been working on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a couple good drinks of ale at this bar that has really just about any kind of drink you could want.
Nice.
And then some. Yeah, you managed to just buy him a couple drinks.
I'm gonna get a drink I don't recognize for myself.
It
All that lost cargo ends up somewhere.
You just get a random drink that you don't recognize.
Yep.
It's surprisingly fruity and spicy as hell.
Mmm.
Like drinking, like, ew, it's sweet, like a nice mixed drink. You'd be like, oh, fruity and fun. And then the afterburn is like you just douse 15 ghost chilies. Like,
Oh, nice.
it is like hot. You've never had
Bellamy-
anything like it before.
I think Bellamy's gonna, throw it back and be like, this one's a bit too fruity for my taste. But like get out, like fall off the stool, roll around on the ground, on the floor for a minute, like get up, like fan himself, like get some napkins and stuff them in his mouth, and then like after like a minute of this, he like starts to calm down, look towards Smoke, and say, "Oh, you gotta try one of those, mate."
Smokestack, the second Bellamy looks like he's even somewhat okay, is already downing a shot.
Bellamy's
Guy
gonna
who-
raise his
guy who
glass and
carries
throw down his
Everclear.
second shot.
What?
And it is
Yeah.
it is pretty much just a copy of what Bellamy just did.
Yeah. It is the second time around that you're doing this, you hear a big, deep belly laughter, and sitting down next to you, kind of having enjoyed the little bit of entertainment, is a blue-skinned, tattooed man, covered in serpent tattoos with horns curling back. You recognize him immediately from the description.
Bellamy, tongue still hanging out, is gonna, you're the Todd Baron, ain't ya?
Drink this, it will help, he says, sliding something across to you.
Bellamy will throw it on back.
It's, have you ever had kefir?
Yes.
The fermented yogurt drink? It tastes like that, and it does take a lot of that spice away.
Hmm.
He kind of smiles. Ah, Tide Baron, but please, call me Joffrey.
No problem, mate. We got
I-
a couple tales of you back home.
Ah, heard you found my friend who managed to jump into the water all on his own.
Yep.
How's he doing?
Lucid. He escaped the hospital.
Good. Good. I was worried.
Yeah, he was speaking tongues at the beginning though. Something like Bellamy's gonna try to remember the phrase he said. Repeat it if he can.
Roll a
Something akin to a memory. So
intelligence.
possibly.
Probably, I'm gonna count this as intelligence.
Yeah. Let's see. 68. That's a regular success.
He pauses for a moment. You see a slow smile start to creep across his mouth. You might be right, but embarrassed if I told you what you just said there.
Really?
It turns out that man's a very good parrot.
Really?
Ah.
What's he spreading around?
That is a phrase that I use quite liberally when I'm frustrated. That best translates to, well, let's say having an interesting night with a camel.
Camel, you say?
Yes.
All right then. Bellamy's going to assign it to a part in his head and remember it to use his repertoire of sailor curses. He's going to repeat it inside his head till it feels comfortable rolling off the tongue like a good curse should.
He uses just a slight smile. I don't know why he would have said that to you when he first saw you. Probably not quite there yet, but how's he doing now? You got him lucid and he escaped, you said.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
hospitals and sailors. Yeah.
Oh, I know how it is.
Hospitals and sailors. Yeah, that's the oldest one in the book.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Taylor, from my research in the library, how old were these old tales of the privateer from the Caribbean days?
Very long. So for context, if you think about like the most Caribbean things being like from the 14 to the 1600s,
And the Elizabeth. Oh wait,
that
no,
was probably
Victorian.
about 200-300 years ago.
Yeah.
1840.
Yeah. We're in like the 1800s to early 1840 something. And those would have been
Mhm.
like the 1300s, 1400s. So,
Yeah.
maybe even 500 years ago, to be honest. It's been a while.
Okay.
He's a very old
You
gentleman.
can also
I
say in
figured.
our alternate universe that we could have had sailors and pirates longer.
All right. Bellamy is going to address this and say, you've been kicking around, what, nearly a half century by our reckoning. What's your secret, mate?
Well, it helps when my lifespan's a lot longer than yours.
How'd you do that?
It's a good question. To which the answer is, I'm assuming the same way that you outlive a dog. Luck.
Yeah?
Luck.
Well,
I don't
to luck
know.
then.
I just... my kind doesn't grow as old as yours does, apparently.
Bellamy will raise a glass and say, to luck, and down another one of those spicy fruit drinks.
He smiles very bemused. Just very, very bemused. Oh, you people, you always get me right here in the heart. Never know what to expect with all of you. Well, I just came over to see how he'd been doing, make sure you two were okay, see how you were acclimated.
I feel fine.
Slides another one towards you.
Hey, I've got a. At this point, Smokestack has just barely recovered from intermittent chugs and internal hemorrhaging. When he comes to and goes, hey, before you go, I got a quick question for you about this place.
Right.
Does it have a core or something?
Does it have a
It
what?
doesn't seem like a sort of heart. Because here's the thing, you folk here don't seem to be its owner. Seems like you're just kind of taking up residence. Has a bit of a mind of its own.
Good question. Yeah.
So, you're asking for questions that are beyond what most people know. But I will tell you, as one of the first customers of this here pub, the heart of it's Nadia. She's built and maintained it for all of these years.
So this is like less physical and more representation of a mother's love.
That might be a good way to put it.
So there's not other islands out there.
Like this? Not that I found.
We
one of a
like hopped on
kind.
one of those ships and just sailed in one direction.
Oh, you'd find yourself somewhere.
But not necessarily somewhere that's connected by the same sea, as it were.
I don't recommend it unless you know where you're sailing.
Alright, yeah, I'll drink to that.
Most people tend to find their way back to familiar waters. But I've known a few who haven't. And I'm not always going to be there to drag back lost souls here. I do what I can,
So
but
what?
sailors
if
are
I'm-
very insistent on getting lost.
If I may, and you don't have to answer this if it's a bit too invasive, but what did Nadia lose that caused her to have such power over that concept as a whole, as to be able to forge an entire smokestack sort of gestures, sort of a little spot, a little pocket?
Oh, hold on, mate. I need to get a beer for this conversation. If this is where this is going, I'll switch off real quick.
That's a good question. And one that I'm not the right person to answer. That's a story for Nadia to tell.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I just can't help but feel. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just tickling the back of my mind. Some esoteric biz, I guess, maybe, that's just sort of haunting in the back corners of my consciousness.
I will
Something.
say,
Yeah.
you seem to be well travelled. Have you
After
met?
my own speaking.
Have you met a man by the name of Darius?
Uh,
Yeah.
is that the guy I think it is?
That's the barkeeper who runs the bar.
That we went
Yes.
to last time.
Oh, yeah, I have, in fact.
Ah. If I were to say Darius were her brother, you might understand a bit more the power she holds to this island.
That does explain a fair bit, yeah. Interesting. Well,
The
thank you
power she
kindly.
holds is her own. The story as to why she made the island is not mine to tell.
Yeah, that makes right sense to me.
That's
Anyway,
it.
thank you kindly, Tide Baron. I appreciate your Joffrey, so about that.
Joffrey is fine. Tide Baron's what people like to call me. Joffrey's what my name is. Or at least the one I'm going to share.
Yes.
Power behind a name, ain't there?
Yeah, so I've been told. Anyhow, it's been a pleasure talking to you, but I think I'm gonna go find a place to think for a minute.
Right. I'm going to give you a slight little nod. And I have a boat to prep. Some rounds to do and see what I find out there. Keep safe. Good wind to
You
yourselves.
too.
He kind of stands
Indeed.
up and then leaves the two of you there. Bellamy's got his map all wrapped up and done. Smokestack says Smokestack goes to find a private place.
Yeah, specifically outside of the tavern. Like, you just find somewhere on the island that's quiet.
Easy enough to do. What's Bellamy doing as we kind of go to wrap up the session here?
I think Bellamy's going to finish up his beer, get some water, and once he's done with that, he's probably going to wander around the island, see what the other establishments there are and what they have to offer.
There's only one building.
All right, only one building, bunch of different. Yeah, that's right.
It's all meshed together, but yeah.
And he might just be talking with other people, see if they've got any interesting or exotic bits and bobs to trade and sell.
Yes, and you realize quite. It's fairly hard to comprehend. This island collects lost sailors
Mm-hmm.
from anywhere, any place, and any time. So you find a sailor that, for example, might have goods to trade of spices that are you haven't seen in hundreds of years. You haven't known of this spices being traded for hundreds of years. It's a very mixed matched place.
Mm.
So there's lots of various things here. The question is how much of it can leave the island with you.
Ah, yeah.
And some of the more experienced travelers, you get the sense that certain things aren't going to make that transition back.
He'll hold his map a little tighter.
I think the map will be fine because it was created here, but things brought from elsewhere might not make it back, if that makes sense.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
There's definitely stuff you can find, and there's going to be some stuff you can trade. There's just a lot here. Nothing that immediately catches your eyes at this moment, though. And I think for exploring the island itself, it's a deserted island. It's very beautiful, but we can probably get a little bit more into that next session. Right at the
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks for playing, guys.
beginning. Thank you for
Yeah, thanks
joining
for
us.
joining.
Welcome.
I'm going to wrap up my stream real quick. If you wouldn't mind sticking around to chat for a moment longer, though, I would love to chat with you two.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just for a second.
I suppose so.
I suppose
guess.
so. Anyway,
Yeah, I guess.
all of those who are still watching my stream, I just want to thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate having all of you here, and we will be potentially, as kind of mentioned, there's a good chance we might be looking to doing these on a different day, but I am planning to continue doing these weekly, as well as getting back to daily streaming, kind of with my new work schedule.
And I'm sorry I didn't get up a stream schedule this week. I realized that like Friday.
Yeah,
that I had
yeah, we didn't
made
have a
one.
schedule for this week. That worked
So,
out fine.
Sorry about that.
But we will have a schedule posted tomorrow. In the meantime, I do want to say that I love all of you. Let me see if there's anyone on that I know to raid. Oh, which... I don't think... We might not do a raid today just because my computer doesn't want to click into...
No, I noticed your thing's hard to put.
Yeah. We're not going to do a raid tonight just because my Twitch is being a little bit odd. I do like to try to do those, but I do love all of you. I hope you have a wonderful night. And I know real life is more important, but I hope it treats you as good as it can. Just remember, you're always welcome back. Night, y'all.